Ladies and gentlemen, show some respect. Show some decorum. Guys, the show is getting ready to start. In 5, 4, 3, 2. May I have your attention? May I please have your attention? Super Sundays. Yeah, baby. We're back at it again. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. I'm glad that you're here. I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. We've been doing these shows for months now, and you guys have been showing up consistently as we take on and we tackle different challenges and different topics. So I appreciate you. But here's what we're trying to do going forward. We want to grow this audience to people who need to hear content like this. And so we need your help. How can you help us? That's a fantastic question. Be sure to make sure you hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell for all of the content that we have, particularly Super Sundays. All right, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure you invite somebody to Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. We're getting ready to go in. We're going to have a good time. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get to the show.
Go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OD, oh no. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OD, oh no. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees. Down, levitate, going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate. On time, never late. I grind, celebrate. No pump, fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day. Champagne, Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now I'm stepping up to home. Like straight out the sandlot, now I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that karma steady growing. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OD, oh no. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OD, oh no. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees. Smile good, skin clear. This here my year. Hey, look up here. This here my tier. Same fit 4 days. I grind 4 ways. I play no games. All me, no blame. On the wave, my own wave. Can't stop my shine. In the lane, my own lane. Can't stop my grind. 40 yard in the V12 and like 1.5. At 19, I cleared 19 in a month, no lie. Oh God. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OD, oh no. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OD, oh no. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees.
Yeah, baby, likes up, y'all. Subscriptions up. It's about to be a dope show. Let's get it.
Place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Yeah, skirt. I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Young niggas coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Yeah, skirt. I flipped my pie, really did that 180.
Who's that gon' tell me I can't do it? Better be on time with my bankroll. Talk fat, no ball cat, no lit word. Routine like clockwork, my wrist word.
Let's go like this. I flourish the cook, got no roof on it. I'm taunting, I'm all in the moment. Everything lit, I don't miss. Till someone get John on the line, say the invoice is coming. I'm thumbing through stacks of that cold ball. They egging me on, so I'm going off. I got them mad, I show off. They treating my life like it's no law. I never flex it, but my means. I spit the cream when my tribe don't I. Don't bro me, don't know me, you not regime. To the one with the condom, my eye is on it. Yeah. I see you move through the base, they precaution, they snaking, they seeing me. Money tree, wake up the royalties. I got a queen, yeah, she go with me. She making me feel like I'm royalty. It's probably cause we royalty. I just got fresh with the golden piece. Shrug, show the emoji, okay. You know it's me, diamond soul dancing, singing like Jodeci. 10 out of 10 every time till they notice me. What you thought I was supposed to be. Ain't nobody close to me. Granted my hits touch the billboards, and they printing my face on the billboard. They envy my drip, I'm enlightened. You should let go of that hate, but you feel more. I make them rage every time they get flame when they hear what I say, coming straight from the source, yeah. I come a long way from the coast by the shore. My boy, I'm enjoying this. Young kids coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flip my pie, really did that 180. Yeah. I flip my pie, really did that 180.
Who's that gon' tell me I can't do? I can't do. Better be on time with my bankroll. Tall fat, no ball cat,
And
no
now,
lit word.
your host, Sir Hill Speaks. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on with you? Welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks. My goodness, guys. Let me take a pause and do this again. It just felt too good tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. I'm glad that you guys are here. Very glad that you guys are here. A round of applause because I know you've come to the stream looking good and smelling good, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. Glad to see everybody tonight. Guys, we're in for a fantastic show. As usual, we're bringing you the all-stars, people who have a perspective and a unique delivery style to drive the point home tonight. But before we get into this, let me show some manners. Let me show some home training. What's going on with your scam? Likely good to see you, my brother. I excel. What's going on with you, Isaiah Henderson, Quincy Freeman? I see what's in there? Oriana. Oh, yo, she's in the building. Primal Studies. What's going on with you? The beautiful lie, knowledge and relationships. Lady Navoy, she's in the building. Good to see you tonight. So glad that you were here. Kiki Keys. I think I said that right. I'm pretty sure I said that right. Good to see you tonight. Big Cat, what's going on with you, ladies and gentlemen? Red Lipstick Vibes. Oh, she's in the building. Big Smooth, what's going on with you? My brother K, Nate the Hair Doctor, all the way from the Chi-Town is in the building. Good to see you. Nikki Nicole, What We Know Podcast. Guys, it's a packed house. And we're going to have a great show tonight. The conversation we're going to have, we're going to be pushing some buttons. And trigger alert, I expect the feminists tonight to come out and clawing and crying and fighting the points that we're going to make tonight. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch the conversation just a bit. What if we have this conversation backwards? What if we have this backwards? What if instead of us spending time trying to change people, what if we just decided to leave them alone? What if submission from our women is something that submissive women want to get, but we're trying to get something, we're trying to squeeze orange juice out of an orange that ain't got no juice. You're trying to get something out of a woman who doesn't have what you want to receive. So maybe changing the conversation helps us to change our perspective. And maybe it's possible that the women we want are right in front of us. We just have to have the confidence to get it. So I could be wrong on this. I could be absolutely wrong, but let's find out. Let's bring up the panel so we can have this discussion, and we're going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, bringing up to the stage, the first time on the platform, well, on Super Sunday, but true to the game, my bald-headed brother, the one of the young, JT, What We Know Podcast. Oh, he's in the building. Salute, my brother.
What's going on, man? What's happening?
Hey, good to see you, my brother, and good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know who it is. He's prestigious. He's so prestigious. He calls himself Man of Prestige. He's killing the game. Great channel, great content. He's in the building to bring his perspective. Salute to you, Sorry, guys. Man of Proceed is in the building. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, everyone? Good to see you, Sir Hill. I'm trying to wake up. You're helping me, though.
Wake you
Thanks.
up, my brother. We're going to wake you up. Ladies and
what's up. Happy Sunday.
On the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing up, listen, everybody loves her. It's the one and the only. Look at me, Ray. Oh, she's in the building. She's in the building tonight. What's going on, Miss Lucky?
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Thank you for having me. Hey, y'all.
Yep, good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, Lucky.
Y'all know, but listen, the feminists want her. This person I'm getting ready to bring up now, the feminists want to recruit her and to make her part of their regime, but we won't let it. We won't stand for. Ladies and gentlemen, bring it up. She knows who it is. Shushu's in the building. Shamaria. Oh, she's here.
What's going on?
What's good with you?
Nothing much. And blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, glad you're here. Thanks so much. Y'all, I'm bringing up, listen, I'm not calling her red lipsticks tonight. That's not her name. Her name tonight is Luscious because today she has brought the fire and she's exquisite tonight. Y'all show your love for the one and the only red lipstick Bobs. Oh, she's in the building. What's good with you?
Guys. Good evening, y'all.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I think Coach is in the building. Coach Oriana, she's coming back for the second time, a very busy woman, but she's going to get some time tonight to coach us and give us some ideas tonight, her perspective on relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Oriana, she's in the building. What's going on with you?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me again. So fun to be here. Hello, friends. Some familiar faces. Good.
Hey.
Everybody, y'all know what time it is. I'm bringing up my brother, my content creating brother, Lil Podcast. He's in the building. Lil Podcast, what's good with you, my brother? Welcome to Sunday's edition of Sir Hell Speak Super Sunday. What's up, my brother?
What's going on? I'd just like to say that I've altered my voice for today's show. I want to be as soft as I can possibly be.
Soft Adam.
Sorry, guys. I think my brother podcast was hacked tonight. I think somebody has his account. So podcast was up.
I think it's okay. There it is. There it is.
There you go. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Y'all got to bring up my brother. Y'all know who this is. It's Mindfully Misunderstood. The guy who's been rolling with me since I started Super Sundays. Save the best for last. My God, my brother. This is our show. The one of the only Mindfully Misunderstood. Oh, he's in the building. What's up, my brethren?
What's going on? Uh-oh.
Glad to be in the building. Hello to the other panelists. You know what? I love to be here on Super Sundays. I'm excited about dialogue with the other panelists and the chat as well. Thanks for having me.
Always. All right, we're gonna cook tonight. So Shushu, Lucky, Coach, Red. How we gonna cook tonight?
All right.
We're gonna cook tonight. But before we cook, how's everybody's week been?
So far, so good.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
This weekend was a beautiful weekend, man. Absolutely.
So I could take a second to talk about my week.
so we mean it's a Clips note. So absolutely, we definitely want to hear from you.
We hit the 1,000 subscribers. We got monetized by YouTube.
Hey.
I finally got my little cousin and his rap group to come on the show and take over this weekend. We got our first super chat in. Tomorrow's my girl's birthday. So it's been a pretty good week. I don't usually get to celebrate life, so I definitely want to take this opportunity to do that.
All
Hey,
right,
y'all,
podcast.
you gotta show some love, y'all. You gotta show some love. Hey, hitting that 1K feel good, brother. You put the work in, bro, so it should be sweet. Be sweet. Hey, y'all, shout out to Kiara. Hopefully she gets a chance to join us. And Mr. He Said, She Said, hopefully you guys get to join as well. Sorry, guys, I joined this stream late. I had a crazy day. Like, if you guys don't know, I'm finishing a degree. I'm pursuing education. I'm going to be, I got some big plans. I got big plans in my future. So I'm working on some things now. So I was a little late to the stream, but thank you guys for your patience. Really appreciate it. Much love to Kiara. She says, good evening, panel. And Sir Hell speaks with the love heart, with the clapping hands and with the waving hands. Let me play the super chat song. And once we get in here, y'all, we're going to open it up really quickly. Before we do this, Granny wants to say thank you.
Super chat.
y'all. So I want to do something different tonight. Normally, my conversations revolve around a particular issue. Women are, have problems. I mean, which we know, westernized women do have issues with relationships. And it's not just because they woke up one day and decided to be this way. There's a lot of systemic things, like a lot of things with the family. But I put the thumbnail with Jay-Z and Beyonce up there, and I did this for a particular reason. Most people have talked about Jay-Z in terms of the way he looks. How did he attract a woman like Beyonce? Now, before we get into this, I want to ask you guys a question. I see y'all smirks. I think I know some of y'all answers already. Tell me, if it wasn't for money, do you think that Beyonce will be with Jay-Z? I just want your honest answer on this, and then I'm gonna scale it back a little bit. What's your thought on that?
No. Simply put, no. She probably wouldn't even look twice at him if he didn't have money. No.
Yeah, I agree.
I beg to differ. Which is my whole point around when I say that a woman submits to a man's character, not to anything external of a man. See, Jay-Z had the mogul mindset. It doesn't matter if he was down bad, he knows how to get it. He could lose it all today, and he'll still have Beyonce because he knows how to get it back. It's the mindset. Women submit to a man's character. A woman doesn't submit to anything external of a man. His money, his height, his good looks, none of that. A woman submits to a man's character, and his character is he's a $1 billion man in his mind. He knows how to get it.
Well, I got to push back for that. There's a lot of men out here who got $1 billion in their mind, but they ain't got $1 billion in real life. And because they ain't got $1 billion in real life, they can't afford the kind of women they want. And the bottom line is, I understand what you're saying. It is a mindset. But let's just be honest, like what his economic status plays a role too. It does, because a woman does want a man to provide. And you look at Beyonce's father. Beyonce's father is the driving force behind where they are today, or where the group got to be. So she's not going to accept a man less than that. That's the example that has been set for her.
I think it's more than it's more than the money, but what got him her being attracted to him was his status, no doubt about it. It was definitely his status, because if you know the history behind it, he was already high into the music game already. Yeah. So when she was just starting out with Destiny Child, this is when, she dated more, other guys before she dated him. So she was already in the game, Beyonce. So she was already, dating guys that was already in the game. But when it came down to him, he had a name and he had status for himself already, especially, being into the music business. So it was more than just the money, and it was more like his status, and it was the confidence that man had too. I mean,
can I you said you think she submitted to his character. I agree, but you said, are you aware of how Jay-Z got his money to get there in the first place? He was a drug dealer. So do you think Beyonce at that state would submit to a drug dealer?
She wasn't even old enough to even know when he was selling drugs.
No, I'm saying what he said. He said when he lost it, he knows how to get it again. How he started is not a way that we would all agree with. He was a drug dealer, and he created illegal money and made it legal. So what I'm saying is most women can't really stick around for that part. They with you when you make it legal, but they're not really the ride or die. I don't think Beyonce, if we're going to say he can get it again, he's going to have to really get it again, which means he's going to have to move bricks and all the other stuff that a person like Beyonce wouldn't be down for. I'm just saying.
Not necessarily. The wealth mindset is essentially that. It's the mindset. It may not necessarily be reflective of the dollar amount that you have in your account, because we all know that millionaires and billionaires file bankruptcy all the time. Right. But I study business constantly. This is where I feed myself. So even I like Jim Rohn, for example. I don't know if you all know, but he talks about how he was a millionaire by 31, and by 33 he was broke again. But he had the millionaire mindset. And so he knew how to get it back. That's what makes him attractive. It's not necessarily about the money amount, but it's about the fact that he has the gumption, the balls to get out there and take risk and do it again and get it back. So he may not necessarily have to slang bricks, if you will, or flip pies, if you will, but he knows how to make connections and generate $1 million real quick. So there again, it's not about the money amount what a man has necessarily. It's about
You're saying in general, because are we just talking about Beyonce?
No, in general. Because,
okay, that's why I'm missing the point. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I will say this real quick, and I'm gonna yield the floor. The 3 C's when men assert themselves into society, you have to think about the 3 C's: completion, competence, and confidence. So when a man completes something, that builds competence, and then from that he builds confidence. And so when he approaches a woman with confidence, he's already done some things, and therefore that creates the mindset that man has, and he can operate with that woman in that way. She can feel that. A woman can feel confidence, but you can't get confidence without completing something, without having results.
So wouldn't that mean that if he did not have the money, he would not have had the confidence to pursue a woman like Beyonce, assuming that she was still at the same level of fame and monetary status that she was? He would not have had her.
Well, she wasn't Beyonce. You guys got to understand, she wasn't Beyonce that you guys see her as being right now. She was Destiny Child's Bills, Beyonce, and it wasn't that she was the one with the currency. He was the one with the currency. He was the one being sought after. She wasn't. She was dating. I mean, it was at a point where, I mean, she dated a lot of dudes in the industry, and it was known that she was, was being passed around and all kind of stuff at that time. So it wasn't Beyonce, which you guys see. That wasn't the Beyonce.
That was when they first got together?
Talking about, can you pay my bills, Beyonce? That's what they was.
I think to go back to the original question is if Jay-Z didn't have the money. So we're taking away his money, we're taking away his stature, we're taking away his access, we're taking away all of that, and we're just leaving with Sean Carter. If he was just Sean Carter, would she look at him? And let's just be honest, the answer is no.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't be in the same they probably wouldn't be in the same circle. That's
right. Yeah, but if you strip somebody from who they actually is, that makes no sense. That's just like saying the same thing about her. If she wasn't Beyonce, would she be a bust down? Would she be a girl that was for the streets? It's the same thing. Well, he chose her as his wife. He chose her as his wife to have his children. She didn't choose him.
Well,
if she wasn't the woman that she was up and coming to become, because he can recognize talent, right? And given his profession, given his skill set, he could recognize her talent. He could obviously see that she's a beautiful woman with a lot of potential from a good family, right? Whoever she was dating, I don't want to comment on just because I don't know enough about it. But given what he could see about her as a much older man in comparison to her at the time when they met, right? You could strip away everything that she is, and she would have never been in his circle to where he would have even noticed her, right? He would have been looking for a woman with more parity.
That's not necessarily true.
To him.
That's not necessarily true.
But how would she have entered his circle if she wasn't already in that industry?
We don't pick women based off of their status. We pick women based off of their beauty. That's the difference.
Well, can I say this? There's a tussle between generalizing it and making it unique to Jay-Z and Beyonce right now. Particularly, we're talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like JT said, it's kind of hard to separate the idea of Jay-Z and money. It's just, it's kind of hard already to do that. Back to the billion dollar mindset, right? There's a difference between the $1 billion mindset and $1 billion in my mind. I could think about $1 billion all day. That's two different things entirely, right? But like Sir Charles said earlier, there's $1 billion mindset, and it doesn't always necessarily reflect, but a woman is much more attracted to that if you can be in our circle, especially on a particular basis. Granted, they wouldn't necessarily be in each other's circle without Jay-Z having that level of status, being in that world in the first place, be it 20 years ago or now, right? Granted, they wouldn't be in each other's circle without being in that circle, right? Which is a product of that status, not necessarily money, because again, both of their money have increased over the last 20 years, right? But particularly being in that circle. So it's a little bit difficult. My answer to it is that if Jay-Z is now who he is, particularly that status, it's very unlikely that Beyonce would have that they would have stumbled into each other. Period. Right.
Let me throw a wrench in here, and I want you guys to go with me here. So think about this. Jay-Z publicly, well, he was, he had a moment of infidelity. She could have wiped him clean from all that he had and started over completely. Why didn't she do that? If it's just status, she could have been successful, took a portion of what they had together, moved on, and found something different. Why do you think she stayed there?
I mean, that's a good question. That's up to her. You would have to ask Beyonce that question. Every woman stays in a relationship for different reasons, and for hers, you never know what that reason is.
Because she valued family. Because she valued family. Because she valued her family.
Could have been.
I mean, that could have been a part of it.
Yeah, that's what I
don't
was
necessarily mean that was the reason she stayed.
Because she valued her family. Give me a but you have to have a reason why somebody is going to stay after being cheated on. She didn't think that being cheated on was that it was that serious where she was going to leave him. And evidently was something that he told her that helped to convince her to stay and keep their family intact. What other reason other than she valued family could it be?
I'll give you a couple.
Hey, Lucky is like,
go ahead, give it to me.
Yeah, Lucky tonight is like, I'm not having none of this. I'm not having it tonight at all.
One reason could have been she wanted to avoid embarrassment of her family being dismantled. The another reason could have been, well,
same thing.
Another reason could have been, hey, maybe she was doing the same thing, and it was like, oh shit, you got caught, but no big deal, because I'm doing it too. So, but those are two reasons that a woman would stay in a situation. Hey, and we know that's real. That's real right there.
And then on top of that, you got to think about it too. Like outside of Jay-Z, who else? Like what other guy is she gonna get to match him?
So that's why I said that she values family, because
so
now the family is
no. I'm talking about. Let's say they didn't have no baby. What guy is she going to get to top Jay-Z? He was at the top of his game, and on top of that, he was a great businessman. So
I agree.
What man is she gonna get to top that? And
I agree.
And he's in the music industry too, so he understands her industry, her business. But
we keep tracing this. Sorry, so we keep tracing this back to money.
Something that you guys forget to fail to realize too is when it comes to the celebrity world, like a brand is everything. So even outside of, like I said, even outside of her kids or her family and stuff like that, I'm not saying that it didn't matter, but a brand is everything. When you are a celebrity husband and wife, it's a different level.
So
at our level, we ain't necessarily a brand.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think, because he asked the question, do you think that she took having a brand more serious than her having her family intact?
Yeah.
You think she took having a brand?
You think her mom and daddy got divorced? Like, come on. Like, so that ain't nothing new to her.
But we're not asking about mother and dad. Listen what I'm saying. So what we're talking about, how many children do they have?
5, 6, 7, 3, something like that.
3.
So it goes back. It goes back to also what you just said. That what man could she have found? Because she wanted children just as much as he wanted children, right? Okay, so those children, they would do way more for them than a brand. They already have a brand.
JT, you're thinking as an everyday average person, like someone who was raised in a generation where family is first and da 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 da. You talking about celebrities? Celebrities operate different, and they do things differently. They are a brand. And trust me, like, I'm not saying her kids and all that, she didn't consider that. That wasn't a part of her decision. But the brand of Beyonce and Jay-Z.
So let me jump in here.
That was a major factor.
So let me jump in here. So the truth is, and let's just be real, let's keep it 100%. As a Black woman, if she would have divorced, she could have still made it work, particularly in America in 2022.
Yes.
If she would have it wouldn't have hurt her brand. Some things would have changed, but she wouldn't have lost any money for this.
Yes.
So it's got to be a different.
And she will survive. Yeah. And she will survive being Beyonce too.
Why she stayed. And that's what I'm trying to dig at. If it was just status, well, she doesn't need that anymore. Like, she's Beyonce. She's B, and she got a whole beehive. So she can't be with him for status now because she has her own. Isn't there something different? Something different. What do you guys think?
Let me say this. She's there's something that Shushu said, but then she's a little bit everywhere. But there's something you said, right? Which is what can match with Jay-Z, right? But I want to link that to Jay-Z worked on himself, and that work that Jay-Z is doing as a man, the work he put in to keep his family together after he got caught, right? There's no man that will match that. And she was able to see that. It's the work that he did. I'm talking about the fact that she did not leave. She did not stay because of money. Let's stop that.
Right.
She didn't stay because of money. It's because of the man that he was, and he grew up to become, he embraced growth when he realized that, he got caught, right? Because again, like Sahir was just saying, if I got him right, she can call it quits and she will still be Beyonce and she will still have that status and potentially better based on the women of nowadays being the ex of Jay-Z.
She'd have been the leader of the feminist group. She'd have been promoted instantaneously to the leader of the feminist, right?
So she didn't stay because of money.
She already advocates like for feminism. I mean,
not that way.
So I mean, that's not true because she's married, but she's still like, it's all about women's rights and women, like all this women empowerment and stuff like that. So that's not true.
So for clarity, when I say feminism, I don't mean the one, because again, first and second wave feminism are absolutely necessary, specifically because women are entering into the workforce and their rights are necessary. I'm talking about this third and fourth wave. I'm talking about the one where it's about superiority instead of equality. So that's what I refer to. When y'all hear the scream, that's third and fourth wave feminism. That's not the first and second one.
Yeah, those are two different things.
The major thing is like Shushu was pretty much pointing out is the synergistic effect of when a couple has joined together. It's kind of like that biblical reference where one can chase 1,000 and two can chase 10,000. To whereas we all know that they both affect each other's brand in a positive manner. Now, I would dare to say that Jay-Z probably affects her brand significantly more, because I think Jay-Z will probably still be Jay-Z if Jay-Z and Beyonce separated. That being said, though, it benefits Beyonce way more to keep herself aligned with Jay-Z. We all know this. And to keep herself aligned with him, it helps the brand. And what does the brand do? The brand generates revenue and it helps her family. And it all things down from that. And so we can't lose sight of that. Now they're playing on a different field, like Shushu said, than we could ever fathom. We're talking billions of dollars. So that being said, we can't delude ourselves into thinking that she's thinking that she could just divorce Jay-Z and things will go on business as usual. Oh no, the brand will take a hit. Granted, can she survive? Of course. Take a tune of billions? I don't know. I
want to say I agree with Shushu on the simple fact that we're not going to sit up here and act like Beyonce put her kids first, make priority in her decision. And in her music, she's talking about how they're worth $1 billion. So therefore, that money and that status is together. Beyonce and Jay-Z is more money than Beyonce by herself. She can, matter of fact, get a billionaire. He don't necessarily have to be from America. He could be an architect in goddamn Paris. She can get a billionaire that may not be Jay-Z. The thing is that when we're talking about celebrities, just like we talk about Russell and Sierra, we don't know what's going on in their house. We know what they want to sell. They even sold the cheating to us as something, to make money, to the point we're talking about it. Do we know if he really cheated? No. The point is to get them to talk about you. So when we talk about them thinking they put the family first, they put their image and what it is and what it got us doing first. The same way Kim and Kanye West do it. They don't have to tell us the insight. We can't understand $1 billion issues. They're billionaires. So that is more money, and that's more valuable than her staying for her kids, unfortunately. That's way more valuable, because she really could have found a Russell Wilson and been on that train. No, Russell Wilson and Sierra, they need some time for people to care to get to that level. It's nothing like two people who are $1 billion together and probably separate, coming together and keeping that together for the remainder. It might ruin her image to have a stepfather. It's about image. Beyonce is not she is not that material. And she came through the gate with 2-parent household. So therefore she does have something. It don't matter that they divorced. Her mama waited until she was old enough and they got things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think that she put her family first. She put her money.
Well, so you could be right, but that's still all speculation, right? Right? Maybe they sold us.
All of
right?
this is speculation.
Right. Right. So we don't know. But I think we can still, there's some good lessons still there. Let's just assume it's all real, right? There's some lessons there. And to me, that lesson is that even if you cheated, right? It's one of the hardest things to find is a man who is willing to hold himself accountable, work on himself. Don't try to use apologies to manipulate people, right? And try to hold on to his lady and walk through that process. It's a long process, very hard to do when you've been found out to have committed, transgressions, right? But it can happen if you're willing to do the work. I think that's for me, that would be the lesson. Just assuming that it was real, and that's very difficult for a lot of men to do, to hold themselves accountable and say, "Hey, potentially I've lost this woman forever. However, I'm going to do the work for myself, right? With or without her, I'm going to work on myself." Those kind of men, they're very scarce, right? And a woman can see that if you work on yourself, and she can also see that there's nothing out there like that, and she can stay with her family just because of that.
Let me throw a wrench in here. Let me throw a wrench in here, guys. And podcast, Red, we ain't heard from you. I want to hear from you guys. So I'm going to throw a wrench in here. And I'm going to throw it out here, and I just want to hear what you guys think. Maybe Beyonce is at a place where she realizes that a man stepping out is not the same as a woman stepping out. A man can simply step out, do what he does, and it mean absolutely nothing at all. I don't care. I'm not trying to build nothing. If a woman steps out, it meant something, whether she wants to admit it or not. Men can love two women. A woman can't love two men. Maybe Beyonce understands this. What do you guys think about that?
I agree, because now you have more women that are getting married and they have an understanding with their husbands. I've seen and heard women say, I know he's going to do it anyway, so I'm not going to make a big deal about it, because men choose to be monogamous. It's a choice. So if they had that understanding, I can see why she didn't make a big deal out of it. She just made money off of it.
Well, you know what? You are right about that. Some people do have like agreements like that. And it's more people than we actually think or realize.
Especially celebrities and people with money. They have agreements.
They have agreements like that, yeah. Because I've heard of different people in the industry who do that, and like when I first heard that was what people were doing, it blew my mind. I just couldn't wrap my mind around that whole concept. But I guess as I'm older now, more mature, I've been in the game long enough. I get it. I understand.
But I don't want to pivot from the point. So not an agreement. I mean, biology and nature. Men can be with a woman and she not mean there's nothing there. And maybe Beyonce understands that what Jay-Z did was not an indication that there was something wrong between them, or that he even wanted the other person. Could that be what it is?
No.
I think so because her mom did an interview and she was talking about their marriage. So if she talked to her daughter, same way like my mom did, she would understand that that's part of a man's nature. So she probably do understand that it's different when a woman steps out and a man steps out because her mom said the same thing that you're saying now. So she probably did know that. Yeah.
Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Jay-Z come out in public and admit in his albums to cheating on his wife? He did, right?
He did. He admitted to it.
All right, so this wouldn't be relevant if he was a guy who was trying to
let's take your
exercise
point.
those choices.
Let's
He
take
doesn't
it- let's
need
take
to
a
be
point.
admitting to that.
Let's take your point
Right.
earlier. Maybe this is because of being politically correct. If it comes out that they're in an open relationship, or it comes out that they had an agreement, that might mess up the brand. So, in order to win the hearts of people back over again, well, let's get our PR team. Let's write up an apology. Let's go on this tour, and now we've added to our brand. Now we're the American love story that you can go through a hard time and still work it out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now that, I agree with.
So let's talk about the agenda then.
Or he never cheated and it's all made up.
But was it? This is the thing. Was when he actually cheated? Was it already public?
No.
Or did he have to admit it?
comes out in
Didn't it
music.
come from the song?
Yes, everything
So-
comes out in music.
So if it came out in a song, first and foremost, yes, it might have been where, and especially if he put it, they could have been selling something also. Because when
Oh, wait,
I can
JT.
understand if he got her, if he did it and he got caught and it got public and all these different things, because now she's embarrassed.
Oh
So
wait,
now-
JT. Maybe he didn't have anything else to say anymore in his albums, right?
But her brand is to
I
sell
wouldn't say that.
heartbreak.
444 was
Her
his
brand is to
album,
sell
bro.
empowerment to women. So the only way you can sell heartbreak and empowerment to women is have something going on that you're going through. You have to let your fans connect with whatever you're going through. They've done this for a long time. Do we really think Mary J. Blige still talking about getting cheated on?
Yeah.
Like, it's something that
I give
is
up.
we can't really just the celebrity talk, I be getting it, but like when we try to relate it to real people, we don't know if it's true, because you have football players who pay people to put scandals out that say that they raped somebody, and it's a whole lie. You know what I'm saying? So they live a different life to get our emotions going, because that's what media does. She sells heartbreak, she sells to the left and the whole thing, and she's still with him.
Right. Yeah.
Like, how are you
But
telling
that
me
was the
to
thing.
leave him if he do the same thing your man did to you?
Right.
You
But
with
this is the
him.
thing. A lot of these songs, the people that sing them are not the ones that write it.
Right.
Especially
Right.
the song
You really about
To the
take that
Left.
route?
That song was written by Neo. So he
You about
was
to
the one
take
that
that
wrote
route?
this
We
song.
about to move the goalposts.
No, what I'm saying
Yeah,
is-
because I give up too. I give up too. I give up too.
No, we don't have to. We don't have
Write
to.
those
I'm not
songs.
changing the goalpost. What I'm saying is to speak to your point that when you talking about when you putting this into songs and all these different things, what I'm saying is that that's not necessarily true. That's why I asked the question: did he put it in a song or did he embarrass her? When it was put in a song, that was only one piece to it, because guess what? He also spoke about his mom. He also spoke about, in most of the songs is talking about finances, how to keep your family together.
Yes.
It was everything in there. The only thing that people pulled out of it was that he cheated on Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
That's my whole point.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's a woman that you truly believe put her family first, why isn't her music reflecting that?
Because she's an entertainer. She's telling women to be single while she's married. She's an entertainer.
That's the
She's telling
agenda.
y'all to do
That part is the
something that
agenda.
She's not doing.
Okay, we'll go with that.
She's telling you guys to do something that she's not doing. All the single ladies while she's married.
Yep, that part is the agenda.
She got a new song that just came out where she was talking about, what was it, church girl? Talking about you can be a church girl, but you can twerk and you can shake all that and
So
bust
where's
it wide
your
open.
opinion coming from to think that Beyonce put her family first?
Right.
I didn't have an opinion of that. I asked the question, do you think that she would put her family in front of her brand? I never said it. I just asked.
I'm
the
sorry.
question.
It seemed like you were debating what she was saying as being a celebrity. Like, so you don't think she put her family to stamp the fact that she could have put family first?
Of course, I'm
But what
questioning
she
that.
displays
Absolutely.
shows that she really don't put family first.
No, it's what she's selling y'all. She's not doing what she's telling y'all to do. She's not doing it. She can kick the
We know that part for a fact.
She ain't kicked Jay-Z
That's
out.
my point.
She done sit back. Everything
That's
that she's
my whole
telling
point,
y'all.
and why I agree with you. You're saying she's selling us something she's not doing. How do we know he's cheating?
No, what I'm saying is you guys are the consumers.
No.
Y'all the consumers, so they're selling it to you.
Jay-Z.
She's not buying what she's selling.
She's
on a whole different ball game.
I think I get what Lucky's saying. Lucky is saying, how do we know this is true in the first place? And I get what you're saying. I get you. But let's pivot. Let's stay on this, but let's pivot just a little bit. Maybe Beyonce is a great example of what a submissive woman looks like. Now let me play this really quickly. Watch this. Okay.
Sir Hill speaks.
Yeah. Even if I have nothing, I'm worth everything without you. There was me before you, there'll be me after you. No, I don't submit to bullshit. The responsibility of being a man is big, and if you don't see the king in you, I'm not going to sit around and remind you of the king in you. I'm raising a boy child. My energy goes towards him, not a grown-ass man who has his own mother. No.
Now, I played this because maybe Jay-Z was confident to know that he did what he did, but she ain't going nowhere because he married a submissive woman. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, and that's very difficult. And I said, hey, if it's a confident man who knows what he's doing, right? And he knows that there's nowhere else to go. Nothing can match this for a fact, right? Maybe, right?
I mean, what you're implying is that there's some negative consequence to her for leaving. You know, either like she's not going to get the kids, she's going to lose some significant amount of wealth. Maybe there's a prenuptial agreement. We don't know. But I mean, I don't think that a man necessarily needs to have money to behave in that entitled way, right? Like I'm gonna mistreat you because you ain't going nowhere. That's abusive. I don't know Jay-Z, but I'd like to think he's not like that, and I'd like to think that she wouldn't accept that. But who knows? You know, they could have a prenup that says, you know, that she would get some kind of negative outcome, or maybe a more negative outcome than she would if she stayed.
So I want to clarify. So you said that could be abusive. So I want to clarify that. So what I'm saying is not that it was planned, but the way that their marriage is built is that if something happens, their first mindset is not to leave, it's to work it out. And that's what I mean by that. So I don't mean like he's going to play around and she's going to sit there and take it. But I mean like the first thing is not, well, I'm going to leave you and take your money. It's like, no, I'm submitted to my marriage. And marriage comes with some ups and downs that we can't predict. And that's what I'm saying by that. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I'd love to think that if that were the mindset, that he would have had some conversations with her before sneaking around, before doing something with another woman, before accidentally finding himself in that position, or you know, like if he's not getting his needs met sexually in his relationship, and the priority is the relationship, why aren't we talking about that?
Well,
right? Why isn't
you just got cornered.
Coach on that one. Yes.
Flag on the play. And I'm gonna tell you what's a flag. Now, ladies, y'all be honest. Tell me which one of you, if your man said, hey baby, listen, I'm not getting what I need sexually. I'm not getting it and I want to seek it elsewhere. They're like, listen, baby, thank you for telling me about this. I'm really glad you came to me first. Go do your business. I'll be here when you get back. How many of you would actually do this? How would that conversation actually
go? Conversation.
The response would not be, go take care of your business. But the conversation would be something like, what is it that you need that you're not getting?
Exactly.
Right? Or maybe me as a woman, we're not dumb. We know, like, if a woman is very sick for an extended period of time and she can't engage in sexual intimacy with her man, she knows that he has needs that are going unmet. Like, this is a conversation that can be approached between two people who have honesty and trust in their relationship. Like, I would have this conversation with my partner. I have an expectation that you have this conversation with me too.
But what if it wasn't the fact that you didn't it wasn't that you was deficit in the sexual department or anything? Maybe it's just that he wanted the variety. Maybe it's that he just wanted to step out.
Maybe you just don't care.
How did he have that conversation?
I'm going to go and do exactly what do you want me to do? What is it what is your fantasy? What is it that you're looking for or yearning for? Because we can role play, baby, okay? I can dress up and all that kind of stuff, whatever you need. So when that question is asked, I'm going to say, what is it that I can change or what can I do? We can bring toys in, we can bring whatever it is you need so I can fulfill it so that he doesn't have to go out. That would be the first thing. So he's
gonna say that's what he want to do.
Then
That's what I want to do. I want you to be silent. That's what I want to do that.
What if we need you to bring Rebecca?
Cool with me wanting to do that.
What if we need you to bring Rebecca
if that's the case, if he just likes variety, then you personally can't do anything about that. It don't matter how many toys you can welcome, threesomes, foursomes, whatever. It doesn't meet the need of variety because you are you. So once he has you are not new and you're not variety anymore.
You should have that conversation before you get married. That is the point of vetting and courting.
Yeah,
you have those conversations.
Would you agree that we all change, we evolve as we grow older? As we grow in experience.
So Coach
right. So let me ask you a question.
We have to have those conversations.
Right. Well, because
talk about
check-ins with each other.
The conversation when the relationship
with your husband.
The conversation when the relationship starts may change later on, is what I'm saying. So now let me ask you a question. Do you women believe that it is natural and normal for a man to be monogamous? I just want to know.
No.
You don't? Okay. What about the other three?
Well, here's the thing about the monogamy.
Hold on, guys. So, ladies, here's the deal. So, before we give our explanation, we got to give a yes or no. So, Red says no. I want to get y'all on big screen. So, if I see on another live, capping, I'm gonna bring this up. So, Red, what was the answer again? I didn't hear what you said, but I saw what you said.
Oh, sorry. No, I had it on mute. No, he's not naturally monogamous. It's a choice that he makes.
Okay.
Coach?
I agree. It's a choice.
Wait a minute. Let's see if we get 3 in a row. Lucky gonna be the rebellious one.
I actually agree.
Hold on, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took a turn. Lucky agrees. All right. Now, Shushu, listen, America wants your answer.
Child, listen. Okay, so no, men aren't naturally monogamous, but women aren't naturally monogamous either. It's a lifestyle choice.
All right.
Wait. Hold on. Before you say that, Sir Charles, ladies, do you agree that women are? Seriously, you have to do us like this. Ladies, are ladies naturally monogamous?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure what Lucky's going to say.
No.
Thank you, Lucky.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took a turn. Ladies, explain yourselves.
If women were naturally monogamous, you wouldn't have women in the strip club or women on the street who are out here giving it up like that.
Those are modern women. Those are not traditional women.
You also wouldn't have so many women out here having babies of whom they don't know who the father is.
That's not how
Maury has made an entire career off of women who are not monogamous.
That's modern.
So that's it's you can be. Here's the thing too. You can be in a relationship with someone and you see another guy and he looks attractive. You know what I mean? You may have some sexual desires towards him, but it doesn't mean
not biological. But that's not biological though. That is.
It's an epic hour of outrageous excuses.
Exactly.
That's not biological.
Okay. You know what? I realize I'm up against a belief, and you can change or you can combat perspectives. I mean, because perspectives can be changed. But I'm up against a belief, so I'm just gonna fall back on this one. But all right.
But so let's insert some biology for this. So when a woman gets pregnant, how many kids can she carry technically in a particular pregnancy? Right?
What does that have to do with her having sex or getting horny?
No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm talking about actually monogamous, right?
Mm-hmm.
The example you brought up earlier about what women are doing, that's not just for sex. A lot of what you were talking about was them providing for themselves. How many, if I take your example, women who just want to be out there, how many of them are actually happy, right? Women who are living this life that we're talking about, there's more antidepressants being used, there's more stress, there's more need for therapy. There's some basic biological things, not to mention that women who are out there, it has been proven that if they do this, it's harder for them to pair bond later on in life because they are not wired to do this. Just because we become cultured to do it doesn't mean that it's natural.
You know what? Here's the thing about that too. It's hard for men to pair bond also. Men who are over sexualized and have sex too much, it's hard for them to pair bond. And then when it comes to you talking about women who are happy, I mean, if we did a poll and actually polled married women and asked how many of them were actually happy, you really think that percentage would be high?
Lucky's got to agree.
But yeah, you know, we push for it, but women get married for different reasons. Women stay married for different reasons. You got women who are absolutely miserable. But because they are afraid to go out here and work and have to be responsible for bills and all of this on their own, they would rather stay with a man they are absolutely miserable with than take that risk. You got a lot of women out here who are afraid of what their social circle would think if they were divorced or if they weren't married. Women stay and do these things for a lot of different reasons. You got women who rushed to get married because they was trying to beat their biological clock. So they just married the man that they had at the time, knowing good and well he wasn't right for them. He wasn't the one. But because I got to be married before I'm 30, because I got to have kids before a certain age, this is the one I got right now, and I'm going to take him. I'm going to make him. I'm going to strong arm him into marrying me. And when he does, and he acts out, and he's not the man that you want him to be, because he wasn't ready and he really didn't want to marry you in the first place. And now you are sitting in an absolutely miserable marriage. So to say that because the women who out here and have like all these babies, like they're absolutely miserable, I'm not saying that they're not. But married women ain't necessarily, all of them ain't necessarily the happiest either.
So let me address that before you go, Lucky. You get next. I want to address what you said. What you said is absolutely true, but I'm going to show you the time period for when this is true. In 2022,
I knew it.
in 2022. Women are not marrying men because they ain't got no options or because of the kids. The numbers don't support that now when you look at the divorce rate. It just doesn't support that. So what you're saying is right, but that's like 500 BC. That is not in 2022. And I dare somebody to debate me on that one.
I think it's also, if we're going to talk numbers, I think it's also important to note that the married women who report the highest levels of happiness are the women who had the least number of sex partners before they got married.
Right. Whoa.
So it's not the women who had accumulated bodies. It's not the women who got experience and who accumulated bodies and had hot girl summer every summer till they got married that are reporting high levels of happiness in marriage. It's the ones who got married a virgin, or they maybe had one or two partners before they got married, which means their husband was like the second or third one.
Yes, the studies have shown
the woman who's the most happiest.
Yeah, studies have shown
why, though?
Have more than 10 bodies or the least happy.
There's a saying that says happiness is the absence of desire, right? So when a woman has a heightened sex drive, perhaps she needs multiple men. Yeah, she's going to be dissatisfied. She's going to be unhappy because one man can't fulfill that. And let's face it. that woman wants multiple men anyway. It doesn't matter if one man lock her down. Now, the thing about it is, we're conflating issues. We're talking about a woman's happiness versus sexuality. Naturally, I think men are wired to be polygamous, if you will. Women these days want to be so much like men that they've adopted the mindset that I need to have multiple partners so I can show an N-word that he ain't better than me. I could get N-words too. I could get more. Hold on. It's almost like a competitive nature where women are trying to compete with men. You can't compete simply because we're in different races. We're not in the same race. But if you want to make yourself look like a fool and do what I do, all you do is just you're selling yourself too short. That being said, I believe women recognize the fact that men are wired to have multiple partners. However, they try to change us into the idea of what they want us to be. And so my question was leading to the fact that if most women understand that we aren't wired to be monogamous, why do you try to force us into an unnatural situation?
Because we're socialized that way. How many young girls have you ever said, oh, go out here and have your fun? You think about it. In your statement, you just said about how women want to go out here and they're trying to compete like they're men. It's because women have been socialized that way. And when they little girls grow up, you told them they're not supposed to have all these bodies and stuff. And when they get older, like you teach or train. Sir Charles, do you have a daughter?
I have 4 daughters.
Oh, you do. Don't you want your daughter to be wives?
Do I want them to be wives?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not concerned about the marital status as opposed to I am about them being good for real. Now, and here's what I mean by that.
No, that wasn't the question. So you don't want them to be married. You just want them to be out here single, and all of them gonna buy a dog.
I want them to be good. I'm not a proponent for marriage necessarily, because what that implies is that you need to do this thing so that you'll be straight in life, but you can still be pretty effed up and a wife. I want you to be good.
Saying, I'm sorry, I am crawling over here. Are you saying that, she said wives. She didn't say married.
Yeah.
We hear y'all say all the time that that's different. Right. So why are you answering from a standpoint as if we're talking about the wedding? Do you want your daughters
because most women will marry a guy just to be a bride. And
do you want your daughters to be wives?
No, I want them to be good, is what I'm saying. Okay. Now, in that situation, I'm trying to explain what I mean by that. I don't want them to be a wife if they're going to be in a situation where they're not good and they don't feel fulfilled. I don't want them marrying a guy just because he can provide and she don't really love him and she don't respect him. We know women do that a lot. A woman will marry a man and she don't even like him. She don't even care. In fact, she have a disdain for him, but because she looked good that wedding day and that rock on her finger blings like crazy, she's going to present herself to that man and really have a disdain for him the whole time. I don't care if she's a wife. I want her to be good. I want her to be true to herself. And if it happens to be that she marries the guy that fulfills her, absolutely. But don't delude yourself to think that you should marry a guy just because he provides well and you're going to care about him, or he looks good with you and you don't love him or you don't respect him. That's what I'm saying. So I don't care about the status part of married and being a wife. Are you good with him? That's my point. And am I making sense?
Not at all.
Right. Okay. So it's okay.
I'll tell you. I'll put it in perspective really quick. I'll put it in perspective really quickly. I use this example all the time. I have a cousin. Him and his girl been together since we were 16. 16. They've never legally been married, ever. They're still together now. 30 years later, they're still together, right? She's not technically a wife, but she's good because she know that over the years, he's proven himself. She's got his back. Now, some of you may frown upon him. Why won't he put a ring on it? Who cares? Their relationship lasted longer than any of y'all that y'all can even think of. Probably outside of your parents. She's good.
Three times longer. More than 3 times longer.
No, she's not. She's not good. I'm gonna tell you why
she's super straight because they rich.
Here you go.
They got they're rich. They got grandkids. It doesn't matter. See, you put so much emphasis on the state, what the state says or approves, you guys are married. Approve. I put the stamp on it. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is they locked in. They proved themselves to each other. It doesn't matter what the state
is a wife.
Sir Charles, I'm gonna tell you why
He is
you're
a
wrong.
wife.
I got fired up. I'm sorry.
In order to get
I'm
married.
I'm sorry.
A reason being is because let's say something happens to that man she been shacking up with for years. And something happens like COVID, another COVID breaks out. She want to go to the hospital. She can't. She's not related to him in any way, and the hospital, and neither does the state.
But there's a thing for that. But there's a thing for that called a living. It's a thing called a living will. Dual power of attorney. There's a whole lot of things that you can have.
Let's make sure we don't cut the ladies off though.
You can. You're absolutely right. You can. But if you don't love her enough to put a ring on it, why would you put her name on any kind of will or any kind of beneficiaries that you have? A ring is the ultimate. That is the ultimate commitment to a woman. And when a man says, "Oh, we can be together, but I'm not gonna put a ring on it," that just means that if things go wrong or they don't keep going the way they're going now, I can leave, no strings attached, no hassle. But that is the absolute ultimate commitment that a man makes to a woman. I will be with you forever. I'm making these vows in front of God. And not only that, I'm going to make sure you good all the way.
Shoot, if your husband...
It kills me. I'm sorry, but when men say I'm the cheater, I'm the protector, I am the household provider. Let me ask y'all something. If you were to leave here today, would your family, would your wife, would your girl, would your wife, would your kids be okay? Yep. If the answer is no, then you got some work to do. You are a piss poor leader.
I think we pivoted from this. I think we pivoted from the question. We're going to go into this.
I said, if you are entered into the hospital or something critically happens to you, you get critically ill. Will your household still stand? Because your woman knows what bills to pay. She knows what accounts the money's supposed to come out of. How will your family operate without you? And if you haven't your family can't operate or function in your absence, whether it be from illness or whether it be because the Lord took you home early enough. If your family would not be okay, you got a lot of work to do. And you haven't thought far enough in the future.
So Shushu, let me address this, and then I'm going to get podcast. I think you took a real point, but that's not really what Sir Charles was saying. I want to get back to what he was saying. It's about being locked in. So from a man's perspective, me going to the courthouse, that's not my biggest statement that I love you. That's from a man's perspective. That's not. It's me coming home to you every single day. That's my commitment. And we don't necessarily need a state to say that. And I think what Sir Charles was saying, which I wholly agree. Now, I'm a proponent for marriage, but what would the world and what would marriage look like if we spent more time getting to actually know each other, respecting each other, and the marriage was an indicator of that, but it wasn't the end all be all. What if we really were locked in at a deeper level? Would divorce be so high if we had that mindset? Right. If we focused on being good for each other and not just married.
Does that make sense? At a deeper level, the only thing I could think of is spiritually, if we're talking about marriage before a social construct. Because that's the real order. That's why it's messed up. So, but I want to just point out monogamy. Monogamy is a social construct. It is enforced by the society. We can go back millions of years. But holes is not nothing new. You have the people that rebel against the society because we have there's sexual, there's different things that they rebel against. Now, I don't think that women should act the same way in society today as men act, or just in general, I think that women's bodies are created differently, so we should treat them a lot more cautiously. But in reality, monogamy is not nothing that's natural. It's no science, no study has ever been able to prove that.
Right.
So you agree and disagree. Like you agree because we are made differently from a biological perspective, but you disagree. Let me get podcast.
We are, because you shoot the baby out, right? I carry it. I actually have a womb. So me going out here being promiscuous is a far different experience than men being promiscuous. We have a womb. That means we're getting screwed. We can't screw you. So that's why I'm saying we're different.
That's exactly our point. But let me get podcast in here.
And hold on, don't be letting nobody nug on my baby head either. I don't appreciate that.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, this show just took a turn. Podcast can redeem this conversation.
So good.
First of all, don't put me on the full camera. I don't want to be on the full camera. First of all, I want to thank Shushu for proving the point that women do not value men's monogamy. What? Yes, that's literally what you just said.
Prove that point.
Somebody been together for 30 years, and because we don't know that the man has ever cheated, we might as well just assume that he never has. He's been with that woman for 30 years, dedicated to her, and that ain't enough because it's not recognizable by an institution that you can profit off of after his death. I don't know how else to put it. But I do want to ask you this question. If you were married, Shushu, and your husband cheated on you, would you leave him?
It depends.
Multiple times?
Probably.
Okay. I just want to respond to the question from earlier. Beyonce would not be with Jay-Z if he didn't have money. It's that simple. I don't even know why we be trying to play these silly games and act like it is what it is with women. We keep hearing in this particular space in YouTube, right, that whenever we are talking about women and their behavior, the first thing they combat us with is that you all are broke. That's the first thing they say. You all ain't in no financial position for us to submit to you. You all don't have the millionaire, billionaire mindset. That's the first thing they say. You all ain't leaders. Why you ain't leaders? Because you can't even provide for us women or a family. That's what they say. So it is about money. Now, we do know in general that women in general deal with men who are either working class or not, financially well off, some even broke. I've had my share of women while I had no money, right? But the difference is that those women are very verbally, emotionally, and psychologically abusive because what they really want is a provider male. And so because they don't have that, they tend to be very abusive. Now, if you're a woman who's never taken care of a man, right now you're probably thinking, he don't know what he's talking about, but you've never actually taken care of a man. So how would you know? How can you say I'm wrong?
Taking care of a man in what capacity? You mean
he wasn't working or he wasn't making as much money as you, so you were providing for more majority of bills, such as a man would do in that type of situation. If you've never done it, right, then you're looking at the men and we're trying to tell you, well, the woman chose to be with that man. And then after choosing to be with that man after a certain amount of time, all women expect for you to evolve to whatever their expectation is of you. And when you don't, they become hostile. They become condescending. They become belligerent. They become abusive. This is a fact. It's not even in question. So Beyonce, and for the question about Beyonce had financial reasons to get with and stay with R. Kelly. From the beginning, we all believed that he was actually.
You mean Jay-Z?
Yeah, that's what I meant, Jay-Z.
Guys, we're retracting that statement.
My bad. I conflated it because I was thinking about the fact.
Wait, I didn't read that story.
Right. No. In the beginning, there was a conflict, right? Because they were saying that Jay-Z was trying to position himself to be with Aaliyah. But Dame Dash ended up developing a relationship with Aaliyah that blossomed around the conspiracy talk, right? Aaliyah had to be removed so that this power couple could be created. Now, I disagree with the person who said earlier that he believes that Beyonce benefited more from being with Jay-Z. I don't believe that. I believe Jay-Z benefited more by being with Beyonce. The reason why is because in real life and in this culture, women tend to support you with their dollars more so than men do. And so because of that, there was an expiration date on rappers, right? Nelly came out. he had brands. What happened? Rockefeller.
Whoa, podcast. Whoa. I will not allow you to disrespect Jay-Z by putting him in the same category as Nelly. I won't do it. I will not allow it.
No. What I'm saying is this. Rappers having
hold on. I gotta fix this. America, I want to apologize for what you guys just heard. Podcast didn't mean what he just said. Jay-Z and Nelly are not in the same. I want to make this publicly clear. He didn't mean what he said.
Jay-Z and Little Scrappy.
Right, I'm not comparing them as artists, right? As far as rapping ability or any of those things. But what I am saying is that Jay-Z's marriage and relationship and subsequent marriage to Beyonce helped build his brand. He did concerts with him and Beyonce that would have never happened if he wasn't with Beyonce, where it was just those two all over the world. So, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to, men's ego over woman's ego. I get it. We always got to put women first. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I'm just saying.
You're absolutely wrong, sir.
Jay-Z's albums weren't even getting the same sales. They weren't getting the same critical acclaim as they were for a minute until he came back with American Gangster. Then it got a little bit better, but Kingdom Come was shot down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that relationship in itself, he was able to do tours around the world, tours that, people probably wouldn't have been coming to see as much if it wasn't for Beyonce. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that
it's here and there. You didn't say it on public television.
Okay, well, it is.
You have to address this.
That's true. But this is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, guess what? If you know that men aren't monogamous by nature, the monogamy should be more important than the ring. It should be more important than the piece of paper. If a man is giving you that is the decision that he is making to go against his very own nature for you. I think that's more important than anything else. And I think we should absolutely cherish and damn near praise men for giving them monogamy, especially since we've had 4 women acknowledge tonight that is not natural.
But brother podcast, the question is, what if the man falls away, slips up, if you will, or slips away?
It's not a slip.
What slips up?
Oh my God!
Slips away from the monogamy occasionally, because you know what? He fell back into his goddamn nature
by mistake.
Exactly.
No, we gonna call it a mistake. It was bad judgment.
Let's just be real. That's
mistake on
the main reason. When y'all sit up here talking about some
bad judgment.
Just be happy he coming home. That's the real reason why, for the men who don't want to get married, that's the real reason.
No,
you're afraid you're gonna revert back to your natural nature. But now, because you are tied into a legally binding contract, it's going to cost you financially. See, if y'all ain't legally bound, then guess what? You can fall back into your nature. And guess what? If she does leave you, your pockets are still intact.
And that's why legal marriage only protects the woman. But anyhow,
this podcast need to say anything else? It's all about the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Podcast, let me ask you this. Because you have a daughter, don't you?
You just made podcast point. We gotta respect that point.
Well, here's the thing, podcast. You have a daughter, don't you? So when she grows up, like what kind of life do you want for her? Do you want her to have a 30, 40, 50-year boyfriend? Or do you want her to have a man who is going to not only commit to her legally, but is also going to protect her and provide for her, even after he passes on?
Shoot. See, I see what's going on here. So whenever we talk about monogamy, I don't think you're hearing this.
You know what?
I just noticed that we pivot from the monogamy part and we bring it back to money, and I think that we're missing each other. What podcast is saying, which is a true thing. What we're all saying is that monogamy, in our nature, the amount of work, like to be truthful, and I'm gonna put the guys on the spot. These gentlemen you see up here are good men. When they walk outside, they have to tell women, no, I am married. Get away from me.
He's stupid.
No, I will not do this. Back up. Back up off of me. Lady, you cannot rub this bald head. You cannot. This is from my... So men have to say no all the time. And really, in a man's nature, we're creatures of opportunity. So if it's available to us and we like it, we're apt to take that. Men, we know that that's within us. And if we love a woman, we're working not to even do anything that will remotely hurt you. And I think the effort is what we're getting at. A lot of women don't understand the effort that it goes in to make sure that you know that we not only respect you, but that we value your need to know that we're faithful. Did I get that right?
I think you did, but let me chime in on that, and I want to respond to Shushu's question actually about my daughter. My daughter is 21. She just made 21 several weeks back, right?
Oh,
and we have conversations about relationships and what I want for her. And I can tell you right now, if I had to choose a 30-year boyfriend-girlfriend situation or an average marriage, I'd rather she be in the 30-year boyfriend-girlfriend situation. Meanwhile, the average marriage lasts less than 8 years. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what it's all about with women is money. Take care of me now. Take care of me after you dead. Take care of me after we divorce. Give me, take. And I don't know why you think that's supposed to be a fair deal for men. It is not.
Think about
There's
it.
nothing
Think
about
about
it that's wait a minute.
Think about a podcast.
Like
How do you condition women? How are women conditioned?
Now, ladies, to be fair, I asked the gentleman to not cut us off. So, ladies, we can't cut the fellas off.
The podcast been going through therapy. I can see his growth. Hey, I can see his growth. He been patient.
So I don't know why ladies think this is a fair deal for men. I don't know why y'all think we're supposed to be excited about this. Yes, I get to go work for 30 years, pay all the bills, give you everything, and then croak 2 weeks after I retire, and you get to live off of my work for the rest of your life and maybe even help another man out. Like, no, there's nothing about that sounds appealing at all. And so for my daughter, yes, I talked to her about marriage and all of that type of stuff. But guess what? I know that she ain't even healthy or prepared for no marriage mentally, physically, spiritually right now at this point. So you need to be making sure you straight, because this guy that you want this monogamous man. That's the most important thing. My daughter said to me, I want to have my children by the same man and the only man, even if we ain't married. I just want to have my kids with the same guy and him to be a part of their life. Okay, then there's a certain way that you need to be to present that to a man. You can't come ratchet and carrying all this bitterness and vitriol from what was programmed into you by your mother and the media. You have to let that go.
Your daughter told you this?
Yeah.
Let me give you a hand clap. In order for a girl to say that you're her dad, that means you've been putting out working as a dad. So salute to you and that, brother. That's awesome.
Yeah, we talk all the time, and it's ironic because when we talk, and then I always after I talk to her, not everything, but I call her mom and I share some of the stuff so that she's aware of what's going on if I feel like she needs to be. And a lot of times her mom will say, well, I don't wonder why she ain't talk to me. Well, because I talk to her like she's an adult. You know what I'm saying? I talk to her like how she thinks and how she feels matters. I've always treated my kids that way. They're 21 and 17 and we have good relationships. But the fact of the matter is, I tell my daughter, you don't get to dictate what a man does, period. Whatever it is you want from a man, there's something that man wants from the woman that's going to get that. And if you're not prepared to offer that to him, then you don't qualify. And you have to be willing to take what you qualify for. Don't say I'm settling. You're not settling. You get exactly who you are, period.
And with that, we're going to pivot. Do anybody want to respond to podcast?
He said it all, man.
We cut her off.
I just want to add, I love what he said, because I know a lot of healthy households that, I understand they don't acknowledge common law marriages, but it wasn't until I got in these spaces where it was like, oh, it don't matter that your 15-year, 20-year relationship, that people do things spiritually on, they don't necessarily do marriage the same way people do marriage in society. So it wasn't until I got into these spaces where people were saying, yeah, you had multiple kids, a woman can have multiple kids by the same man she's been with for years. You still are deemed a hoe because you didn't marry him. But then you have a woman that can get in the marriage a year later, have a baby. The marriage lasts shorter than the long-term relationship. She's way more valuable, but she back out on the street. So I totally agree with what he's saying. I think the value is in the people and their commitment to each other should be the value, not the actual paperwork, unless you guys are agreeing that this is a business and this is what we're going to leave behind for our kids. If that's not something that y'all came into doing it, I wouldn't think a person should expect those things because you didn't come in with that type of mindset on this is the relationship I want. I totally agree.
Let me say this last part. So I do think that you should get married. Like I do believe that. I think the prerequisites have to happen first, but there are legal reasons, there are tax reasons, there are a lot of different reasons that marriage helps you to benefit from. So take full advantage of those, but just make sure it's not about the money. Make sure it's about the people involved. And I think if you can have the best of both worlds. So good point, everybody. But let's pivot because Shushu said something earlier that ties into what I was going to ask. Many women. Let me address America.
Oh.
America, many westernized women say that they want a man who is a leader, a man who's strong, who's confident, a man who can take charge. But Sir Harold has a question for the women of America and those around the world who've been westernized. My question to you is, what is a leader and when was the last time you were with one? We'll start with the ladies. Please, not all at once. Please.
Left or right, perhaps.
I'm gonna say 7 years ago. I was waiting for somebody else to go.
Where?
70.
Also, a leader is
where's the crickets at, man?
Okay.
A leader is someone who thinks about those who they are. I guess you have provision over. They, think about the needs of all, not just what they want for themselves. And, they do make mature decisions. Leaders are able to deny themselves or their wants and desires for the greater good. And yeah, like I said, leaders do think about others. And, it's not just about others serving them, but leaders are servers also of their people because, they have to make sure that their people are good at all times. And the last time I was with a leader was December 24th, 2007, before my daddy died.
Oh.
Now I'm going to circle back to this. I'm going to circle back to it. Lucky, you said 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach, what about you?
My current relationship, my is the leader.
Excellent. Red?
Now.
So the reason I bring this up is because I notice a lot, and this is not anyone on this particular panel, but in large, when I ask this question about what is a leader, because he got to be able to lead me, baby. If he can't lead me, I can't follow. I ain't gonna submit to no man who can't lead. Well, what exactly is a leader? And when was the last time you've been with one? And the reason I pose this question is because I've noticed something with a lot of women. A lot of women have taken on that statement, I want a leader. They have no idea what one looks like. And the most important part, they have no idea how to work with one. So I'm asking you ladies this, when was the last time? And if you're with the leader now, what makes him a leader? And what are you doing to show him that you appreciate his leadership? We'll start with the ladies, then I'm going to flip the question on the men.
So I'll say a leader within the context of a relationship is a man who has a clear vision for the future. He's clear about his mission in life, and he has a clear purpose. And he has a powerful enough frame to inspire other people to follow his partner, the woman, to follow and to submit. Submission means submitting to his mission. And then in part of that role, our responsibility is to remove obstacles from his mission. Part of the role of the submissive woman. Part of the reason that it's hard for women to follow a man's leadership is because they have learned that they should be the ones to have the most powerful frame in a relationship. And they've been taught that their mission is what is supreme and should matter above all. The part of the other issue with that is that a lot of men are not clear on their life vision or their mission, or they don't know how to articulate it to their partner. And so she cannot follow what she doesn't understand, and when she doesn't see where she's going, she can't follow, even if she wants to be submissive. It's like walking in a room with a blindfold on You know, you're going to get scared. Your nervous system's going to get activated. You know, she's not going to follow you off a cliff. So she has to be able to see and understand the vision, the mission, the purpose, and what her role is. And she has to be inspired enough by that and by the leader to want to follow, and submission and give the gift. Submission is a gift that women give to a man. Mm-hmm. So if she can't have those things, she won't do it. But even if those things are there and she's combative or non-collaborative, she also won't do it. So men need to be able to know the difference between a woman who can submit but isn't doing it because you're not leading with clarity, or if she's not doing it because she cannot submit because she's been taught to never submit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excellent. But before you go, Sir Charles, before you go, yeah, before you go, I want to see if I get the ladies. So, Red, do you have a response? Shushu, do you have a response? Likely, do you have a response?
She said everything I was going to say. So, I mean, she dropped all the gems. I was going to say the same thing. What a leader is, when it comes to what is a woman's role. She already said, you work under his mission. So part of the problem, like she was just saying, is that a lot of times men don't explain or show the woman or teach the woman what the mission is or what the purpose is. So they get kind of confused of what's going on. So it goes back to communication again between the husband and the wife. So sometimes, us ladies need more than just say, here, I want you to do this, or this is what it's going to be. We need a little more context. We need a little bit more information. Why are we going to do this in order to, follow? Some women, not all, but so that comes a lot with, women that do say, he can't lead. But then on the flip side, you have women that just don't want to do it anyway because they just want to control the marriage and relationship anyway. So it doesn't even matter what the man will say, or he's on his purpose. He has a mission. He's, trying to guide them. But if you have a very cantankerous woman, she's not going to do it anyway, no matter how much you explain it. So again, like Coach said, make sure you get that vetting going, before you even get into a relationship or a marriage, to know what type of woman you are dealing with. Because there's no such thing, I say it all the time, as conditional femininity and submission. It's who you are. Mm-hmm. So off the bat, you will present those things to let that man know this is the type of woman that will follow me.
Okay, let's take it here. Before we Lucky, you have a response? Should you have a response?
No.
Yeah, I agree with what they're saying. I just wanted to get understanding when I answered, because I can say I've been currently with the leader based on what he is in his work, and then also a person who actually knows how to lead in the relationship. Those are two different responsibilities. So if we're talking about both outside of the house and with you, then yeah, it was time ago. But if we say men can say I'm a leader, but he doesn't know how to necessarily lead the relationship and provide in those ways to take the responsibility, because women are responsibility.
I disagree with that. Leaders are going to be leaders, whatever context. They're going to rise to the occasion because that's what they are. Now, whether or not they have a position is different. But a leader is going to lead regardless of what environment he's in. There's a difference between being an owner and a manager. A leader leads in whatever context. He commands the room. No matter where he is himself. He has our respect. But I want to challenge you, sisters, and I want to get the brothers in on this. A lot of the ladies
sir,
can
I respond to what
yeah, let me make this point, and then I'm gonna get to the brothers. Okay. A lot of the ladies say that I want leaders, right? Leaders out here, but a lot of those ladies are still sleeping around. Is it possible that a lot of the women who can't find leaders because they're sleeping with non-leaders? I can't lead you laying down.
They sleeping with them because men want sex. That's why they sleeping with them.
Are you guys
and that's part of the interview process, ain't it?
But you guys hear what I'm saying? It's in one breath, we're saying we don't want men who are out here, screwing around and around the place. I want a leader. We're saying we want one. It's like a man saying, I want a wife, and he's going, to the clubs banging everything that he sees. Like, doesn't it contradict what you say you want if you are positioning yourself to do something that's opposite of what you say you want? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I tell people all the time who are engaging in that kind of behavior, you're never going to attract the person you want for as long as you're putting so much time, attention, and energy into the people you say you don't want. So you must actually want those people, right? Like, don't tell me that you want a relationship and then you're out there, dating all of the people and being promiscuous with people and spending time and attention and resources on people that are nothing like the person you want to be in a relationship with. Not only does that not make any logical sense whatsoever, it doesn't make any emotional sense. So there's just no way, like people will say, when I find a husband, then I'll become feminine, or then I'll become like a wife. No, when I find a feminine woman, then I will become a leader and I'll be masculine. No, because a woman who wants to be a wife, who's traditional, who's feminine, she doesn't want the F boy. So she's not gonna find that guy and then make him a husband. Like, he has to already be that, And the same the other way around. She has to already be a wife to attract a husband. She can't be out there being a 304 thinking she's gonna attract the man, the husband, all of a sudden, and that's when she's gonna put on her church clothes. No.
Right.
Amen, sister.
Exactly.
Amen. Podcast, you had a response on this?
Well, and I'm not disagreeing or pushing back on what Red said, right? But I just find it very rich that women want men to provide for them like a father, but at the same time, they want a man to have to explain themselves to them like a child. Like, how about you want a leader? So instead of questioning my leadership or even requiring me to explain everything to you and every move and everything I want to do every time, just sit back and enjoy the ride. Get in the passenger seat. Don't passenger seat or side seat drive. Why are you with me if you don't trust me? Do what I ask you to do.
Again, that goes back to the type of woman that you get with. That goes back to the vetting and courting process. Mm-hmm. You will know who she is while you're dating her. Don't marry a woman where she has to question you every time. Why are you with her if that's something that you don't require? Again, that goes back to the relationship.
No, but you mentioned that you said some of us women require more explanations.
Some women do.
Stuff.
Right. That's why you have to vet.
I'm just saying that I was just, like I said, I wasn't pushing back. I was just saying, like, and I hate when people say that. I'm not trying to be triggered, but I hate when people say this vet shit. It's like, do we have to pretend that people don't put on their Sunday's best when they first meet?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what people do. They pretend and they
what vetting is to get beneath that. That's what vetting actually is.
Say that again, Sir.
So vetting is getting past that Sunday's best. That's what real vetting is.
Exactly. So let me ask you this question. If you end up in a divorce, does that mean you didn't vet properly?
No, it doesn't mean that.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, right, in relationships, people show who they are after they get comfortable. Sometimes you're a year in,
before you go to make that.
You see what I'm saying?
To give you some, so shopping for a car doesn't mean it's not going to break down. Right. So you still got to do your initial work to make sure that you at least have information on it. But it's no guarantee that nothing's going to ever happen to that car. The same thing with relationships.
Point though. I think that's
I get that. I get that, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, if the woman starts asking a lot of questions, or if she starts, being more controlling or less of the whole point that I was making is, if you want a man to provide for you like a father, how much questioning of your father do you actually do? Dad, are you gonna be able to do this? And Dad, you sit back and you let things get done.
See, podcast, I think you're missing it. So you want a woman who's inquisitive, because a woman is a helper. So what she really needs is clear guidance on what do you need me to do?
Clarity.
So if she's coming asking questions on, baby, what can I do for you? That's not questioning, that's her helping.
It's right. I'm not talking about what can I do for you questions. I'm talking about what are you doing? How long is it going to take? Are you sure it's going to work?
But that's
who you doing it with?
That's different. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. We know, because this is what I'm saying. We know that. I forget it, bro.
I think
it's just me and my experiences.
Yeah, you made a good point. You made a good point. It's perspective. It's perspectives, right?
So podcast, like you saying the vetting process is BS, but
no, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, if a man is with a woman and 10 years in, that woman cheats or she starts getting loud, belligerent, and everything, you didn't vet well. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Man. Like let's know
you didn't.
That's my point. That's not what that is, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
No, it's not necessarily you didn't vet
and
well.
I'll rewind the tape when you yourself said earlier, people change.
But this is the thing.
Rewind the tape when you said that earlier.
Vetting is part of, but the vetting is part of the process. That's all it is. So you got more than just vetting.
Can you vet to prepare for a person changing? Yes or no?
No, that's not what it's for.
Okay, so he said that people change.
I can answer that. In sickness and in health, for rich or for poor, to death do us part. You are literally saying there are things that might change, and I gotta prepare for that. So absolutely, what you can do is go into the future and see what influence is changing. You can't do that. Somebody gets an aneurysm, messes up there, but somebody, you can't go into the future. But But you can vet and do your due diligence.
And one of the things we vet for, one of the major components that we vet for is what? Integrity. A person that has integrity, regardless of what it is. That's one of the things. And the only thing that we're doing is it's on a balance of probabilities. That's it. It's not for guarantee. It's just on a balance of probabilities.
And sorry, back to that analogy that Sahil just gave. Cars can break down even though you did your due diligence, right? When it breaks down, what do? You go to have people check and see what's up, as opposed to, it's all perspective, right? If she gets into a space and she starts to become extremely inquisitive, right? It's a sign that she doesn't feel safe and secure. Doesn't mean it's your fault, but you gotta look a little bit deeper than why are you becoming inquisitive all of a sudden. Something is happening. You may not be able to see it right away, but you gotta pay attention to, seek help.
There's a new challenge in front of us. There's a new challenge in front of us.
I feel what you're saying.
Because you're my daughter, not my wife, not my partner. You know what I'm saying? Because you're my daughter and everything is on me, and you don't have any forefront knowledge of what's going on. You want to come and question me because of your anxiety, right? And because of your worries. Nah, you don't get to ask me no questions. You want to ask me some questions? Come stand out here next to me. See, because my belief is that handout thing, right? I heard a song one time. The guy said, he said only, I can't remember exactly how he said it. He said something to the effect like that, he said only thoughts come for hands out. That shit is basic.
Was that Nelly?
Stand adjacent and help you. Hold on, repeat that. He said only thoughts come with hands out. That shit is basic. Real queen stand adjacent and help you chase it. And ever since I heard that, and I ain't even gonna say ever since I heard that, to be honest with y'all, that was one of my lines in one of my songs. And it just came to me. You know what I'm saying? So when I write, it just comes to me. I don't know where it came from. But ever since I wrote that line, I was just like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. I don't want nobody that's coming to me for handouts. I don't want nobody, you out here chasing a bag, chasing a career, and then all of a sudden when you get with me, that's supposed to just mean nothing. Right? Nah, get next to me and let's go get it together. I'm not saying you got to hit the walls with me. You know what I'm saying? I'll do the fighting if it's necessary, but all of that is like allegories and analogies and stuff. I'm talking about in real whole life, right? If you want to know what we doing to try to get to the bag, help me get to the bag. Like I said, my plan is to retire my woman, but retire me at the same time. I don't want to go to work either. I don't want my back to be hurt neither. I don't want my knees and my ankles to be hurt neither, because I'm up walking around and chasing the white man's check either. Not just you, me. Let us retire so we can be free and lay up on the beach somewhere. And I just think it's very rich for a woman to want to be in a position where a man is providing for her like a father, but she wants to question him like a child. I just think that's very rich.
I think podcast is making a good point. I think it's important to consider that if you've had a woman who's been following your leadership, who's been supporting your mission, and all of a sudden she's starting to become anxious, she's questioning more, it feels like she's trying to control outcomes. These are all signs that she is getting into a fearful state. And so for the leader, just like you would do with your employee, when your employee is starting to get controlling, anxious, and underperforming, you would confront that with a conversation about what is going on. What information do you think you need that you don't have? So I would just invite the men, because you're going to run into this at different points in time with your partner, and it doesn't make her a bad woman. especially if she's been submissive in the past, take it as an opportunity to step into greater leadership, because that's what she's inviting you to do. Just like you hear like nagging, hear out this other ear, she's asking me for leadership. She wants leadership, right? But it's very easy to hear the way she's talking and the like, just like the pitch. She probably sounds kind of like a child, and so it's annoying. And so you're getting activated in your nervous system, and your reaction is to push away and withdraw. Do the opposite, right? Like pull her in and show her, like, I'm the one in control here. I'm the leader of this situation. Trust me. What do you need right now to help you feel safe? Like you literally have to pull her in, and then she'll be able to walk next to you again. I know it sounds counterintuitive. I'm talking about a woman where this is not her pattern, right? Her pattern isn't the controlling woman. Her pattern is the submissive woman, but there's a situation that now has come up that probably is brand new for both of you. And now she's showing up anxious and controlling outcomes. Like, don't hear what she's saying, the words, just hear what she's doing as a request for leadership and safety. And that
I went through
you
that
guys
recently,
can't
so I
interrupt.
agree with you. I went through that recently. You just spoke exactly to a situation I just had recently. So yeah,
You guys do provide that, and like a man's supportive power in that way is so healing. If you guys only knew how healing that is for us, when you just pull us in that way and just like become that strong tower when we're afraid. Like that heals our trauma, because our fear is coming from a past trauma.
So let me give the other side to that. So what you said is spot on. I love it. I don't want to take anything away, but I want to speak to the other side of that. When a man doesn't have a pattern of keeping you in the dark, it's important that our women come to him with a level of, baby, you taking good care of us. Thank you so much. We don't go without. You do a good job of providing for us, but I have some concerns. So the leadership we provide give us that fellowship. So I think what we can both do in this situation is both just be mindful that this is not how it typically goes. And we both give each other what's necessary to feed us in that moment. Because whether you know it or not, when our women start questioning us, we take that personally.
That's a fact.
She didn't see how I've been providing for her. Like, she questioning me now. She ain't questioning her boss at the job. I guarantee he ain't nagging her. And we take that personally. So ladies, I want you to hear that the other side as well. The way you approach a man says a lot about whether or not you see him as a leader. So if you come to him and you start questioning and nagging him, what you start to do is chip away at his confidence. And while he'll say the leadership words, you didn't just fracture his heart, because you're the only person who has access to that. And men believe that you're going to, before you ask a question, think about the last 3, 6 months, year, 5 years. And if I've been consistent, why there's so many questions? So we both got to give each other that. Anybody have a response for this?
Yeah, give yourself the applause sound. So that you just took us to church.
So I agree with both sides, and I appreciate you addressing the other side. I tend not to address the other side, generally speaking. I think men should prepare for what Coach just said, because you're going to get hit with that crisis, and you're not going to be initially presented with a woman who understands that. But if you're able to do what she said, now you can train her to do what you said. Sahil, it's easier. See, on this stage right now.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you just said? Somebody screamed. Say what you said. But you can do what?
These beautiful ladies right now, they're listening to us because they feel safe. If you ever find you, prepare yourself for that crisis so that you're able to pull her, and then you're able to teach her the way you just said, Sahil, right? But that's something that is not necessarily going to present itself to you, especially in this time and age. You're going to get presented with that crisis. You need to prepare for that worst case scenario and hope for the best, right? And then you're able to also bring that leadership to train her in the way, not train like a dog, but in the way that you like it to be done. But not if you address it with that aggressiveness, she's going to multiply that for you. Your life is going to be a chaos.
Yeah, this is I got to give everybody props. This is one dope segment, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this is how it's supposed to be. Ladies, I want to tell you something that most men won't tell you. If we're not giving you answers, it's because we're trying to figure it out still. And if you push and push and push and push and push and push, now we stressed out. Lady, I'm trying to figure this out. Give me a little time. Give me a little support. I'm gonna figure out. Give me a little time. But the more you push us, the more we get concerned, because whether you know it or not, we live to make sure you're taken care of. When you go to sleep at night, a lot of us men are still up thinking about the next day, the next week, the next year or so, right? So if we're not giving you the answers, it's because we don't know as well. And how you can help with that is simply say, babe, I got you. And I'm here. And you'll be amazed at what that does to the creative juices, to the power. I'm in to figure it out. Guys, am I right on that part?
You right on point with it, brother.
Well, there's another part to that too, though, because sometimes we don't tell you because you'll sabotage it with your mouth.
Dang, podcast.
I just want to be honest, man. Like, we can't pretend like it's gonna be what question, and then the next question, and then the next question, which all says to us, you don't believe in me. You asking me all these questions instead of doing like what Coach said. What can I do? Is there anything I can help you with? You see what I'm saying? Instead of asking me 1,000 questions, what are you going with it? None of this stuff ain't gonna matter, because you ain't finna have to do it. If I say I'm finna go lift up Mount Vernus, you ain't finna come help me lifting. So what difference do it make? Go sit down somewhere. Let me do what I got to do. I'll let you know when the food is ready. I mean, it's that simple for me. But again, though, my situation is different. When we tend to talk about the situation from a standpoint of a woman not working and a man working, and that's not most people's situation. One of these days, I hope we actually get to do a show where we talk about what needs to be going on in the household when both people are working, which is the majority of people in this fair country.
But there's another part of this also, as far as like the women having the trust in a man.
Yeah,
I think and this is one of my things about when women have all of these dating experiences, I think it ruins them when they have too many.
Mm-hmm.
I think these experiences that happens, this is the reason why, because I don't know if you fellas on the panel have ever experienced this, but a woman would sit back and talk about her past relationships of somebody either flaking on her, somebody treating her, bad, or having all these bad experiences. And then now you're the one that have to be responsible for, or I did this and I went through with all this and I'm not going to go through it with you type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it comes from them having too much experience in relationships. When you have a woman that don't have a lot of experiences, she don't know how to have all those different expectations. So once she is with a man that actually is about his business, a man that is, about being responsible for her and being responsible for the relationship, doing his part, a lot of times she don't really get it. So it goes down to what Coach was saying, was that you actually have to be able to narrate and talk her through it also, because she's just not ready for it. When you say, just like what you were saying on the podcast, hey, listen, just fall back. I got it. Fall back. A lot of times they don't respect it because they've been lied to. It's a lot of different things that happen in their past, and it comes up in fruition. So it is frustrating for us as men, because we know how we are.
Mm-hmm.
But what we have to do is be a part of that process, and we have to get them used to seeing what our integrity is, or when it comes down to us handling our business. There's a lot of dudes out here, man, they don't handle their business. They flake. They tell their woman they're gonna do one thing, they never get to it, and next thing you know, you got this woman sitting back and it sounds like she's nagging. And it'd be something that's very important, like paying a damn bill.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to wait and we about to get the water cut off because you didn't pay 6 months of the water bill or a whole year?
Mm-hmm.
And they get mad. They get upset. Why is it that now our rent is messed up? I laid this responsibility on you. And there's a lot of men that do that also. And then the man gets mad because he's like, man, I'm tired of her nagging me and all that. It's because, bro, you ain't really giving her a pattern of you actually saying and doing what you said you was going to do.
But see, in that situation,
that's why you will see a lot of those issues.
But to me, and I don't disagree necessarily with what you're saying, but in that situation, this is my point. Everybody don't get that. Everybody don't get, I get to sit on my ass while my man go do it all. Everybody don't get that, man.
I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about something as far as
clearly what you said. I'm just responding to one simple part of it, which is that everybody don't get that. Right? My woman The reason why I came to Kentucky, I was back in Chicago. My lady was still here in Kentucky. The reason why I came back to Kentucky, because my lady was struggling. So I wanted to help out. Period. I didn't have to do that. I came down here because I wanted to help out. Right? So what I'm saying is instead of me saying, you grown, you got 2 kids, you do it, I'll do what I can do. You see what I'm saying? And in that situation, if you're a woman and you see it's tough on the man because this bills or this or that, don't nag him, don't beat him down, because he's struggling is not a woman's privilege. Now you can put me on the solo screen. Struggling and being poor is not a woman's privilege. It's not gender specific. You don't get to champion not having money because you have a vagina, right? So if a man is struggling, get up off your ass and help him. Period. Best case scenario, you meet each other young and you start building young. You put some money up before you start having kids. You develop some businesses. You create some streams of incomes and some investments. That's not what we usually do. So at the end of the day, guess what? If you was out here making babies, be able to make yourself get a job. Even if it's just work from home, that's what you have to do. Even if it's just a $9.25 an hour work from home job, doing some call service stuff, it don't matter. You bringing in something that's going to catch that water bill, catch that light bill, catch the car insurance bill to make it easier on this man when we know they averaging $40,000 a year. So I don't even understand why we have to keep talking like everybody is getting to the bag and everybody is rich. It's not the case. Most people are middle class or working class poor. So we have to make decisions in our relationship like that. If you lay down with me and you had a kid with me and I didn't have nothing, you don't get to abuse and beat up on me now. Yes, that happened to me, but I'm not the only one. We hear men consistently tell these stories, right? They weren't properly raised to get out here and face the world as men anyway, whether they had toxic mom, and absent father, or toxic father and battered mom. I mean, whatever these situations are, right? We can go down the list and play victim Olympics. But I'm just saying, in general, we all are bringing baggage to the table.
So let me interject really quickly. So here's what I believe, and
I apologize for the rant.
No, you're good. This is great. A coach has to go in a few minutes, but I want to make sure I respect everybody's time, and I want to give her a last word. But before she goes, I want you guys to. I'm gonna tell you what I believe. I believe men need to be men, and this means that when there's a need, we do what we have to do. Now, this is coming from me. I have had 2 jobs since I was about 16 or 17. 2 jobs ever since then. I've always been working. And part of what working helps me to do is it gives me a perspective on taking care of needs. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a workaholic. And oftentimes my wife has to tell me, hey, stop, let's go for a ride, because I'm a workaholic. But I think that we've lost something in our culture where men don't take ownership, right? You know what I mean? We want our women to be part owner, but be submissive. And I believe that most women, you give them a level of security, you walk with a level of confidence. Women are going to be women. They're going to be catty. They're going to have questions. But at the end of the day, any woman will submit to a man that she can respect, that's consistent at what he does. And I believe that a lot of us men, we can have any woman we want to if we show those qualities, that we're consistent, that we're sure about what we're doing, and that we're consistent. And I think a lot of us men, we complain about a woman not being submissive to us. But the truth is our consistency on par with the submissiveness that we want? So I'm gonna give the guys an opportunity to answer that. And then I want the Oriana, let's start with you first. I want you to answer that as well.
It's cap.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. First off, this conversation is so good. So I'm sorry to have to go, but it's late here. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Sir Hale. You know, it's such a great point. And, you know, I just want to say on behalf of many women out there, you know, some women are not in a position to be able to go back to work, to be able to contribute financially into a household. That might be because they're taking care of the children, you know, and the children are, you know, the priority based on whatever their ages are, right? And so that's not always an option. But even when it's not an option for a woman to go back to work, it's always an option for a woman to speak life into her man. You know, if you know, as a woman, if you love your man and you see him struggling, you know, you don't have to see him the way he sees himself. That's one thing about a traditional submissive woman who loves her man, is that she will always see the higher version of him. She will always see the version of him that has all of the potential to do all of the things that he believes in, especially if he's been a strong leader, and has, like you said, Sir Hale, a consistent track record of strong leadership. So, learning to speak life into a man, that's not just your romantic partner, but your sons, your brothers, any of the men in your life, is a mission critical life skill for all women. So if you haven't already learned that, prioritize learning that, because it's important. It's important if you want to have good relationships with men.
Excellent. Round of applause for Coach Ariana. Listen, we love having you here. Thank you so much for what you said. And I'll be reaching out again. So hopefully you get some time in your schedule. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right, Coach.
Okay, so I'm going to pose this for the ladies. The ladies are going to respond, and then fellas. A man can have any woman he wants. If he's confident, he takes care of his business, a man can have any woman, and she will submit to him. Is that cap? Or am I telling
the fellas first? Favoritism. No, I'm just
hey, ladies go first. Actually, you know what? The fellas haven't talked. So, fellas, is what I said, cap. Any man confident, established, consistent can have any woman he wants, and she will submit. Is that cap?
Any available woman he want. Yeah, I believe so. Depending on the level of his confidence and what it is that he's attracted to. I believe so. Confidence is that's a lie. That's a big proponent of a man.
Cap.
When you don't have the confidence,
podcast.
Right. When you don't have the confidence, man, you don't get the things that you yearn for. But when you got that confidence, man, that includes a woman too. You may not get that
to America.
You may not get that particular woman, like I said, every available woman. So yeah, I don't believe it's cap at all. No.
Yeah, I'm calling straight up BS. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what level of the sexual selection hierarchy you are on. You could be a top tier guy. At the end of the day, whatever mission you're on, if you are on that mission, if the woman doesn't acquiesce to that mission that you're on, you're not for her. And she may be able to fake it for a time, but she's not really going to submit to you. I always say the saying that where the head goes, the body will follow. A lot of times men are so intrigued about the body, getting the body, and the head ain't even involved. Because you've had sex with a woman, but her head you ain't got her head.
But where's the cap at with that's what I was trying to figure out. Where's the cap at though, bro?
Well, the cap is
make no jokes.
You talking about some other stuff.
No. The cap is that a man could be a top tier guy and still not get every woman that he wants, because a woman doesn't acquiesce to your mission. Every woman doesn't acquiesce to the man you are. Men delude ourselves all the time to think because we're him, that every woman needs to be on our program.
We're not saying every woman, man. We were just saying to be available.
It was literally the question.
Any woman. Not
every right. That's what I'm saying. Any woman. That's not true.
Yeah, that's narcissistic to speak any woman. That's why I said any available woman. Yeah.
You agreed? You said that every woman, a man could get every woman if he
any woman. What I mean is I said any because I don't mean every woman, because everywhere you're right. But I mean, if a man pursues a woman, he's a grown adult, he can get any woman that he wants to if he's that dude.
That's not true.
I understood the question.
I disagree with that. And see, here's the problem.
Sir Charles sound like he didn't.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I misunderstood the question. But here's the thing: you're talking to a guy who is him. I'm him. He is I am him. None before me, none to come. The one of one. Listen, I know that even me being him, right? I consider myself a high value man, but I know that every woman that I'm checking for ain't checking for me. Why? I might be too dark skinned. I may not talk properly enough. I might be too short. I might, whatever it is. Not you delude yourself to think that just because you are that guy, every woman is checking for you. You delude yourself. That's all I'm saying. So it doesn't. Maybe I misunderstood the question, but all I am saying is that men need to deal in reality. I just had this conversation with a woman friend of mine earlier today. It's ironic that we're having this discussion because and my position has always been that men need to deal in reality. The reality is no matter what value or what level on the sexual selection hierarchy you are on, you will never be able to get every woman. Why? Because a woman will always find something wrong with you. Someone will always find something wrong with you. So now the problem is when you go through life thinking that you can get every woman and you don't, now you're dealing with disappointment time and time again. Deal in reality. That's what I tell men to do. Deal in reality. Every woman that you're checking for ain't checking for you. That's a fact. So now the main point needs to be, do you know what you are about? Do you know the direction you are going? Do you understand your mission? And the woman that is willing to fall in line with your mission, that's your woman. Not necessarily woman you're checking for. Go ahead.
Yeah, so just to be clear, not every woman. This podcast, do you have a response?
Okay. All right, my bad. I misunderstood.
No, it's all good. Misunderstood. It's no worries. Podcast, you have a response for this?
Yes, Cap. But that is based on my understanding of the question.
Cap.
What you meant. It might not be what you meant. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just feel like we kind of had a similar conversation the other day where I had some women kind of posing to me that any woman, if you put her in the household with the quote unquote real man, which includes being a high value man, that she will just submit. She will become rested in her femininity. It don't matter how she was raised. It don't matter how broken, how toxic. None of that other stuff ain't gonna matter. Okay, it don't matter that she hasn't been practicing being a submissive, feminine woman, wife, mother, none of that. If you just take that woman and drop her in that man's household, she will become awesome. That too is Cap. And also this is Cap. And that's why, because you can't just get any woman and think that she's going to submit to your will because you're just this awesome guy. I played the clip earlier where this woman, Ro Grangoire, something like that. She got some type of French name where she spoke about how particularly Black women in our communities, the reason why they are so defensive against men is because they aren't being raised in households with men. And so because of that, they see correction as an attack instead of something out of love, right? And so that's what I'm saying. If you take a woman that is not built for that, not built to handle a man, deal with a man, she hasn't had any healthy relationships with men, and you drop her into this place with this very good, real man, high value man, whatever you want to call him, she ain't gonna even be able to appreciate him because she's relying on the information in the program that she's had for all these years. And she's still going to be combative with him. And the first time he has to try to offer her some correction about something, he's going to get the same pushback any other man would.
Okay, Bennett, proceed. What's your perspective?
So as an inspirational statement, I agree with it. I don't think it's Cap, as an inspirational statement, we're talking relationships now. We're talking about getting a woman, a queen, that you want to potentially do life with, right? I think it's beneficial to tell men that. I think it's less beneficial to tell men that the opposite of that. I don't think it helps them at all to tell them that, hey, by the way, there's no guarantee. There's certain things I'll say no guarantee, right? But ultimately, I think it's an inspirational thing to tell men like, hey, listen, focus on your self-confidence, your self-worth, and you could get any woman you like. Of course, that doesn't mean every woman. That doesn't mean you should drop everything and start chasing after Beyonce, attempted to take her away from Jay-Z, right? Because they told you everything. Of course, that doesn't mean that. But I think I understood the statement from majority of people in the world that will make such statement. I think it's inspirational. I think it's a good thing. And confidence is everything, by the way. It's sexy as hell, both in men and women.
Wait a minute. All right. Brad, what's your perspective on this? A confident man, consistent, he can get any woman he wants to, and he can get her to submit. Is that Cap?
I don't know. I'm so confused because the guys they had me all confused. I'm sorry.
Stop the cap.
Can I say half and half?
Sure.
Like it's like you can, then you can't. I guess it depends on if the man knows what his value is and know exactly what he deserve or what he can get. Yeah, he can do that.
Now you're talking my language.
But if it's way out of his league, like because he just said, go after Beyonce, and you're not even on that level, then no. So he has to know what he can get and not fantasize about what he can go after. I guess I don't know. I'm lost on this question.
Okay. What about you, Lucky?
I think that a man in his position, because I don't want to conflate all the other stuff as far as emotional support and all of that. If we just talking about duty and appointed and all the things that keep a relationship in his role, it sounds like if he does those right things, consistency, duty, and all of that, I think he can get any woman in his lane. I think he may have a problem if the women in his lane you have to do attraction too. So I agree with what he said earlier about if they don't find you attractive, no, because if you an ugly motherfucker, it don't really matter. And I'd rather go be 50-50 for most people. It depends on the age range and all of that. So I think overall, if you're dating within your lane, yes, you will have just like women. If women were realistic with where they are and they add value and she understands her value, she's not going to be dealing with men that aren't in her lane on that. She's going to be focused on those men that are consistent and doing the right things. So I think it's in your lane you can get most women.
I 100% agree with Lucky. I think a man you can get any woman in your lane. If you're confident and you show up yourself, you have all the qualities you need. Yeah, you can put a woman in your lane. Because there are some things that make you more attractive. So yeah.
I really want to add a little bit more context.
Any woman in your lane? What is that? What is any woman in your lane?
I want to add a little bit
before you go, because you be long-winded and I'll be missing what I was about to say.
Respectfully, go ahead, love.
Respectfully. Because I just want to point out when we saying in our lane, because I feel like that was coming. Some of y'all need to be realistic. Some of y'all lanes look like Lizzo. I just want to put that out there. And some women's lanes look like Flavor Flav. So if you're not happy with your lane, then you probably should be single.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took another turn.
Why do I always get
Lucky?
that?
Any woman in your lane?
Man, Lucky.
I did not sign up for this.
There's a lot of overweight women that are great potential that y'all pass up because y'all think y'all deserve Halle Berry or these other type of Halle Berry from Dorothy Dandridge, and you're not even. So let's.
This is tantamount to abuse right now.
I just want to add a little bit. I want to add a little bit of context, and it may come off a little bit as braggadocious, but I want y'all to understand that I don't really hold myself to the things that I have necessarily, because I know that they're blessings, and just as they were given, they can be taken away. Right. So now I want to tell y'all this is real life. I'm a millionaire in real life. Right. I really have over $1 million net worth. Right. But I had a conversation with a woman last night, and I had to let her know that I am a minimalist. If you come to my place, very simple. My place is very simple. Here's the thing. A lot of women who want a guy who is flashy, they want to show their wealth, right? They're not checking for me, right? Because they want to be seen with the guy who looks like he's worth $1 million plus, right? A guy that looks like he's worth money. I'm not him. And so now for me to get that woman, now I have to be someone who I am really not. I'm not a flashy guy. So that being said, that's my point. Yes, can I get her? Sure. But do I have to be someone that I'm not? That's where the problem lies. I would have to be someone that I'm not. I'm a minimalist. I love minimalism. I like living a simple life. I like so now what I'm saying is with the American black woman, it seems like in today's society, for a woman that wants to be flashy and seen, she's not checking for me. That's my point. And I don't like to sound like I'm being braggadocious or nothing like that. But that's the point I'm making. And when I had the conversation with the woman last night, I know I could get her if I want her. But is it going to take from me being me? Then
yeah, that doesn't sound like you're bragging. I think that's a really good point. But I got to go back to what Lucky said, because I'm very concerned. Guys, let me address America. America, I'm concerned. Do men have to have status and be the best looking to have women who are in shape? Is that what we're seeing tonight? Why is it that people of other cultures, and I mean this for real, can earn $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year, and this isn't said in other cultures? Why is it only in the black community, it seems like, where weight is, and somebody being fit is equivalent, or you only get this if you have a certain amount of money or prestige? Let's address that, guys. Why is it this way?
Black women. What else is there to say? They're the ones that's playing this game. The men, I will say that the men started using the weight thing to beat women up with. I don't appreciate that. There are some women 180, 200, 210, 220 that look amazing. But at the end of the day, that is a defense mechanism for the fact that every time we try to talk about women's behavior, they bring up money. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Make $40,000. You better go get Lizzo. You better go get Big Mama. You better go get somebody big.
Money, or did I say you're lame? Like we're in modern.
She's a lame.
We're in modern dating. Y'all keep thinking when we say lame, we mean money.
Was you responding to what she said, Sir?
There is a lot of women with men that don't make that much money. Everybody is not a millionaire. You have women who be in, we just talked about 15, 14, 30-year boyfriend-girlfriend relationships with average men, waiting on him to ask her. So I'm just saying, some things are in your lane. If you're a man that don't value certain things, you need to get a woman that share the same value, or you're going to be unequally yoked. That don't just, sometimes we're sitting up here going to say, I want a woman that look like this, look like this, look like this. And it'd be a man saying that he has titties himself. So how can you say you care about health?
Lucky, have you no respect?
You're not healthy.
So
it just
don't
make sense.
I just want to know. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you carry that same opinion for Lizzo.
I do, but I don't know Lizzo. But at the end of the day, Lizzo has access to a lot of other people that are the same way men were saying, I'll take Oprah. Oprah been ugly since we've been watching her on TV.
Jesus.
That's all we're saying.
Hold on, Lucky. Hold on, guys. The Oprah Winfrey.
She ain't gave Stedman his value yet.
What I'm saying is, what I'm asking is this.
Not gonna be with Lizzo.
No, what I'm asking is this, Luck, because you said there's a man that says they want this and this, and they have titties.
Okay,
and I'm saying this woman, Lizzo size, and other women her size have consistently said they don't want women that big. I actually have a picture. They don't want men that big. I actually have a picture, a tweet that somebody sent me that I thought was really good, because it's women champion body positivity, right? But then when they had somebody draw this art picture of a man and a woman having sex. Well, the woman is built like Lizzo, but the man is built like The Rock. And so if it's really about body positivity, why didn't they build the man to look like Ruben Studdard?
Ruben, guys, Shout out to American Idol. Shout out to the Oprah Winfrey Network. And shout out to Lizzo. Gosh.
Me and podcast got a Bobby and Whitney thing.
Right. I'm just trying to make sure that when you say that about men with titties, I don't have titties, but when you say that about men with titties that want good looking women, that you have that same level
I didn't
of
say good
contempt for
looking.
women.
It's beautiful.
Look.
What are y'all saying? Y'all saying y'all never seen pretty?
She thinks Lizzo is beautiful. Don't forget that.
No, guys. So I need to give the lady some truth juice.
Her face card is not declining.
I want to give the lady some truth juice. So you ladies are very attractive. A lot of ladies are attractive ladies. So your attractive beauty, your attractive currency in your 20s, 30s, and maybe 40s, that's going to decline.
Facts.
But a man who's working on himself, his value is going to go up.
Unless you Angela Bassett.
This hold on. This is why it's important, ladies, when you're in the prime of your beauty, to be humble. Because if you're not humble, when you get older, those same selection you have in your 20s, 30s, and 40s are going to diminish, while man's value is going to go up. And that pretty young thing that was out of his lane, he going to go pick up somebody who was cuter than you was when you were young.
She's going to join that lane. She's going to join the lane.
So y'all don't know me. Are we really about to sit up here and say, at large, in our communities, for the most part, we see men when they get older, they're high value, or are they croaking over, dying early?
Even high value.
No. It's not even a high value. They just better than what they were. Most men, it takes us until we about 35 years old to even get to.
When we have the conversation slanted like that, it makes it seem like that's more of the case. When let's be realistic, we see Big Mama was not small. Like, it's women that are actually,
which is why Miss Pearline had the other man's other family. Miss Pearline was.
There are men as well that women get with who are overweight, who are unhealthy.
Shut up,
if the
Pearline.
core values match, then they match.
Who's Miss Pearline? Jesus Christ.
So can we put this in context right quick? First and foremost, are we talking about people that's eventually being where they can get married, or are we talking about somebody being screwed? Because what we is getting conflated.
And those are two different lanes.
Any woman, Lizzo can get sex. There's no problem with her getting sex. But she is not getting a commitment. She won't get a commitment being the way that she is right now. Not just her weight, but her attitude also.
But
and it also stands on her.
I'm literally
but listen,
talking
and
about
it also
what she look like. When y'all bring up Lizzo, it's what she looks like. Like she.
Yes, because you guys is, and it's because the thing is that we would judge you based off of your beauty, and that's why you got 10, 1 to 10.
If you care about
because that's your primary.
Judge her by her value.
I can tell you why.
Not,
that's because that is your primary. Listen, that is your primary agency. That's why when you get older, it diminishes.
JT, let me take
your
this
selection of men dwindles.
JT, let me take this one.
You know what?
Hold on, Shisha. Mm-hmm. Let me take this too. Let me ask you a question, Lucky. Most men have a few words. We have a few words. We don't say a whole lot because we're just not wired to. If you have a woman that you have to explain, now we got to talk more. So it's incumbent on our women to be beautiful because we don't want to have to explain who we are with. So we need somebody cute so we ain't got to have those conversations. And not being real.
You know what? Can I say this? Just like, hold on, listen. Listen.
Let me explain her.
No. Listen. Just like, as you were explaining, JT, a woman's currency, society has it where a woman's currency is in her beauty, particularly in her 20s, 30s, and relatively early 40s, right? We don't like it. You got women who don't like it, but we got to accept it because that's the way it is. Men are mostly attracted to women who are small. Women don't like it, but that's just the way it is. Well, men can't complain, little podcast, when it comes to women who want men who can provide them with a certain lifestyle. You don't like it, but that's the way it is. If you don't like it, get your money up. And like Lucky was saying, let's not pretend like all these men, when they get up in age, they making all so much amount of money that they can pull these young girls like that. Because the ones they pulling are either naive or they just tricking.
They playing them. They
This
playing.
is exactly why these conversations. This is exactly why these conversations go left.
No, let's
because
not
look
play
what
this
she's
game.
saying right now, right? She's saying this, but at the same time, let's not act like all black women are just these model dime pieces that deserve to have that lifestyle that they think they want. That is the point. They don't deserve to have the lifestyle that they think they want, and they move like they think they do. They deal with men while they're waiting on somebody to provide them with that lifestyle, and along the way, they are abusing these men and then running back and telling the story without any accountability or introspection on their part in it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's disingenuous to have that conversation. If we want to talk about the majority of women are overweight, the majority of men earn average money, and none of that shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't even matter.
Let me jump to, and I want to sister.
I'm saying comparative to each other.
Guys, I want to announce this super chat real quick. So D'Souza CHF, I'm not sure what CHF stands for, but thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I really appreciate that. This is going to my high value account. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I saw another super chat come in as well.
Havoc forever.
And he says, just because
I just want to let you know that that's the Swiss.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And my guy says, whenever I say my lady, my guy, because I can't pronounce the names, my guy says, just because a dude makes 30K a year don't mean he's supposed to accept dating an overweight chick like Lizzo. Salute to Sir Hill Speaks, State Game. Now, I want to say this. Let's be honest, guys. There are some thick, attractive women. Let's just be honest. Like every man doesn't want a skinny woman. For the most part, we want a healthy woman. And the bigger thing is we want our women to be cute, but we want to be able to pick up our woman if there's an issue. That's really the biological reason of having a smaller woman. If danger was to break out, I don't want to have to risk fracturing a disc in my spine or messing up my lower back. Or I got to get a back brace.
I have to give another man.
Listen, I done blew my shins out, right? I done tore my meniscus. I got a sprained ankle. Right? I don't want to have to do this to get you up. And so this is what we don't. It's not that we necessarily just want a small woman for the sake of being small. We want you to be healthy, and we want to know that in any situation we can protect you. That's really the core reasons for this. The beauty part, most men, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, most men like to look at 8s, 9s, and 10s. Most men end up being with between 5 and 7, and that's just really what it is.
Facts.
They mad because they can't get the 8, 9, and 10s.
That is some bull crap. That's not true. No.
So let me make that kind of money, but I should still get an 8, 9, or 10.
Shoot. Most men don't want 8, 9s, and 10s because 8s, 9s, and 10s are headaches. Let me tell you something about 8s, 9s, and 10s. 8s, 9s, and 10s overestimate themselves. They think that just because they got a pretty face, nice titty, nice behind, in shape, that's enough. A lot of these women can't hold a conversation. A lot of these women don't have any interpersonal skills. A lot of them lack emotional development. A lot of them can't take criticism. The only thing that they can take is praise. And if you don't give them praise, they throw rage.
It's a wrap.
So 8s, 9s, and 10s are great externally, but unless she's come from a stock where your beauty isn't determined solely by your outside, but by the state of your heart, your mindset, your peacefulness, your ability to get along with other folks, and an 8 on the outside can still be a 2 on the inside, and that's really what counts.
Still be for the street.
Let's be honest. They can't hold a conversation. A lot of these men don't even want to have a conversation. You just said a few minutes ago, men are naturally wired not to talk that much. That's why you get a cute woman, so that way you ain't got to explain why you with her, because you can obviously see why I'm with her. She cute and she don't talk.
No, I want to make this
clear. He also said that we end up having a 5 and 7s, right?
Is that men are careful with what we talk about, because most men, we're not going to just say words for no reason. So if we have a woman, you become a helpmate. We're able. So let me take you to the Bible and come right back. When woman was created, she was created to meet his social needs, his ability to communicate. And so men want a woman who's not just pretty on the outside, but she has to have a mindset so that when he talks to her, he feels fulfilled and he feels strong, because he has a woman who's not just somebody he can look at, but somebody he can rest in because she has intellect and knowledge. I think a lot of ladies sleep on that. A lot of beautiful women think that men don't want a smart woman. We want a smart woman. We just don't want you to just be smart and like the outside. Like we don't want you to just have outside and none of the inside.
So why are y'all prioritizing looks then? Why aren't y'all prioritizing?
She just can't be smarter than you.
The same reason why y'all prioritize money.
Hold on, I want to address this. Hold on. Let me address you. Because I hear a lot of women say that she can't be smarter than you. The truth is, we need you to be smarter than us in some areas. We don't want to have to be the deciding factor. We want wives, not daughters. Listen to me carefully, because I want you guys to hear this. We want wives. We don't want daughters. And I'm concerned that a lot of our black women, hold on. A lot of our black women have been fed that men don't want smart women. You can't be smarter than him. No, we want, we brag on that stuff. Like, this is what my girl did. My girl made this. My girl made this t-shirts. My girl found this LLC. My girl came up with this idea. Men who get women who do stuff, we brag on women like that.
You know what? I'm glad you said that though, Sir Hale. Because if I or Lucky or Red Lipstick Vibes would have said in that, y'all would accuse us of being a feminist. Oh, what?
Well, you are a feminist.
You smarter than your man. Oh, feminist.
No.
Oh, what? You want to have a conversation?
Where's the scream? Where's the scream?
Oh my God! What, you want to have a say in your relationship?
He mentioned his friends. If we take the dude around our friends that we think is valued, we get shamed, saying, what is him? Even the man will say, the fathers will say, I don't care if he's just this, my daughter need more. They get shamed as well. So we're looking for something that we could brag on. But we're supposed to brag on each other. You can't say we're looking for the value in a woman that's beyond looks. But then when the most of the conversation is based around looks. Like,
let me ask you a question.
Listen,
I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up. Now, ladies, and
I have to exit, by the way, Sahil.
I'm going to assume that every lady on this panel, you get up in the morning time, you say, I'm going to take my shower, I'm going to floss my teeth, I'm going to brush my teeth, and I'm going to put some mouthwash in, I'm going to take care of this, I'm going to put on my clothes, makeup, do your hair, right? You don't have to, you're not saying, you know what, because I want to look like an 8, 9, or 10, I'm going to do this. You're a human being. So most men just want women to do the basic human being things and take care of yourself and be presentable. There's nothing special about that. To Shushu's point, how are we estimating smarter than your man? Like, I want a lot of ladies, I don't know where we've gotten this from, that men are concerned if the woman is smarter. How do you quantify that? Right? In natural relationships, he's going to be stronger in certain areas and you're going to be. But it should never be where you're going to, well, I'm smarter than you, so I don't have to listen to you. Take your smarts. It's a reason why companies who the CEOs don't have education hire people with education. You need smarter people around you, but that doesn't mean that the person who has less than you is less than you. It just means you have another resource that brings value to what you guys have, which in this case is marriage.
Right. It's like, does your smarts translate to actual value, right?
No. Can I say this real quick? Because I do want to make a point. Sir Hale, I agree with you 100%. There are some areas that I may be stronger in than you. You know what I mean? Or I would be stronger than my husband. But if I were to come on this platform and to say that, then y'all would jump down my throat saying I'm a feminist. But you, as a man, just admitted that, hey, it's okay for my woman to be stronger in this area.
Wait, Shushu, you said you would come on a platform and say that you're smarter than your husband?
I didn't say smarter. I said I'm stronger in this certain area. And sometimes I'm stronger. I may be stronger in a certain area than my husband. And Sir Hale just said it, and it's okay. But if I were to say that, y'all would jump down my throat saying I'm a feminist, because what y'all heard was I'm stronger, I'm smarter than him, he don't know nothing. That's what y'all heard.
No, if you had context, context, I would never say something like that. If you had put it in context, but if you came on here and you were just bragging, then yeah, we're gonna be like, what did you have if you had a reason for saying it, if you had it in context, well, nobody say that you was a feminist. If you would have came out braggadocious about it, now we'd be like, well, what was the purpose you what you saying that for? That would have been.
I'm bringing that up to make a point. My point is this: I think we need to be more aware of the biases that we have, because sometimes when y'all hear certain words, that's all you hear, and it automatically triggers, like, say, like, if I said, okay, it's okay for a woman to be stronger in a certain area than her husband or her man or something like that, then but what you would hear is, I'm smarter than him, or I know more than him, so you know what I'm saying, so I ain't got to listen to him, and that absolutely is not what I say. I've never said anything like that, but y'all would jump down my throat for things like that.
No,
what you mean stronger, Shushu? What you mean stronger?
stronger, I guess.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
More inclined in certain areas. More inclined in certain areas. But like, I just want y'all to be more aware of that.
Shushu, now you're my beautiful sister. My beautiful sister. Lucky y'all, all beautiful women. I want you to understand. Throw all that garbage out your head. No man wants to think I'm smarter than my woman. Like what? If I heard a dude say some mess like this, he'll be booted.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
You see what I'm saying? We you know, let me talk to you like a brother now. You know how sexy it is for a woman to be smart. I mean, smart, not the kind of feminist smart where I'm throwing it in your face, I'm educated, not that, but smart, able to handle situations, conduct herself, handle business matters, handle things. Like one thing that the reason why I rock with Lucky, and I'll tell you why I started following her, is because, and Lucky, just don't take this the wrong way. I said she a cute face, she's gonna be on YouTube and she's gonna get some male subscribers, which that's what she about. But when I actually listened to her content, what she started talking about is things like taxes, things like building income, ways that you can
real estate.
That to me, I'm like, I can rock with somebody like this. I don't hear a lot of pandering. I mean, there's some cabinetry, every now and again, but that's few and far between. But it was her mind, and that's why I rock with her. Red lipstick vibes. I listen to her. I want to say 11 o'clock on weekdays. I should be at work. If the job is watching this isn't a person. If this is not really me, but I listen to her content. Pretty face, but she's thinking on a cognitive level. Men find thinking women attractive, but we just don't want you to be masculine and to compete with us. We need you to be intelligent. We value that. We just don't value your education statement as a means to say why you shouldn't submit to us. We need you to be intelligent. It's sexy to us. Fellas, did I cap on this one?
Yes. No, I'm just playing.
No, you was good, bro. That was straight.
No, that's true. That's exactly what it is. I mean, I think you hit it on the head right at the end when you said too often it comes down to competing. Why are you competing with me? If you take that part out of it, everybody wants their woman to be smart.
With that being said,
educated, all of those things. Just don't use it or weaponize your education against me. That's all it is. Don't try to make it seem like it makes you better than me or you using it to devalue me in any kind of way because you got a degree that you don't even have a job in that field that you got your degree in. Like, that just doesn't make any sense.
With that being said, there are 22, 23-year-old men arguing for 5 hours on YouTube. Shushu has a point. They do exist.
Let me speak to this on that part. Men who are under about 28, they don't know what they're talking about. So you can't take a lot of them seriously. There are some, but real talk, real grown men, I don't want to say real, but grown men know. They're speaking out of their experience at the moment, but they haven't accumulated enough life to understand what they're really saying. So you got to let them grow up. You got to let them say what they're going to say.
Yeah.
Hopefully they look back and realize how stupid they were because we've all been there. But 28, they don't know what they're talking about. But you have to let them grow through that because they're going to get where they need to be, but they got to grow through that phase. Same thing with the women, 20, 25. Men ain't nothing. All these men lie. Girls, sit down. You had one boyfriend from high school. You don't know what you're talking about.
We was together for a long time. How long? 12 months.
Nigga.
And again, this isn't to say that they don't have anything valuable to say, but you can't expect a 23-year-old to have enough context to say something as if they've been here for 30, 40 years. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Hey, Sahir, check the back chat. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was weird. All right. Listen, guys, I think this is a good show. So what we'll do here, and I really appreciate you ladies being on here. The reason why I have you on is because it's easy to argue. Like I could put some stuff to argue, but I really want to see relationships work. And I do believe that there are a lot of women who they want to see a good leader. But this whole passport thing is really got me concerned because we're in such a bad state now that there's no conversations are going anymore. We're not talking about working it out. We're talking about leaving. And this is a big problem.
No, we got a solution for that. Soft girl era, right?
Yeah. So what I want to do as a content creator is I want to tell men you can have the woman you want, be confident. A lot of men lack confidence. A lot of them lack that. A lot of men lack work ethic. And I'm saying there's some basic things that you can open up your dating pool and marriage options if you were that dude. You can't, all right, this show's getting ready to take a turn. You can't be online all day talking about what women are not. You don't have $1,000 saved in the bank. Your account regularly goes into the negative, and you're not trying to work to change this. You haven't worked on improving your skill in any area of your life. You spend time watching more TV than you read books, right? You spend more time being catty and gossiping about issues rather than being a solution to them. So there are some very real things that men have to do. And whether you are a YouTuber or you're a content creator or a book writer or you're working in the factory, as long as you are doing something to elevate yourself, this is the goal. But there are far too many men who want to get on with. As soon as they see Lucky on here, cap. As soon as they hear Realistic about cap. As soon as you get her cap, well, sir, maybe they are capping. But what are you doing to counter that? And if you have nothing that you can distinctively say, this is what I'm doing differently, then respectfully sit down and turn it to Sir Hell's Network, and I'm going to teach you something. Or tune into Mindfully Misunderstood or JT or What We Know, Man of Prestige. Because there's too many men talking and not enough men working. And I want to see men working in life. And then I want to see beautiful women like you get these men, right? Get these men, be submissive. Wife say, yes, sir. Yes, baby. What do you need from me? And I want to see you guys have kids and be happy. I don't think that's too much to ask.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that, and just follow along with me, please. Do you think that a man that doesn't have legs should get married?
Jesus.
I know, but just follow along.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Give me a second, guys.
Okay. So here's my point. A man that doesn't have legs can't mow the lawn. Right? So if he gets married, should his wife have the expectation for him to mow the lawn?
This stream is about to end.
No.
Exactly. So this is my point. We have to stop trying to paint everybody with one brush and say everybody should have the same expectations for everybody. That's just not how it works. There's a lot of men. Hold on, man. There's a lot of men out here who were raised by single moms, and that has created a certain level of dysfunction, and they're never going to be Sir Hell. They're not. They're never going to sit up in suits and ties all day. They're never going to be as clean cut. They're never going to have their nails done, and
Sir, I'll have you to know I wear Adidas as well. I'll have you to know this. I wear Adidas as well, not just shirts and ties.
Wear Adidas. But I'm just saying, they're never going to be that. They're never going to have the wife, and the wife don't have to work, and they're going to provide everything. It's never going to be the case for a lot of men, a plethora of men across races. It's not going to be the case.
I give up.
I'm not hating on nobody that want to speak for them, but I want to speak for, even though I have a goal of my own to be in that position, not necessarily that position, but but I'm saying, I just want to say for the women out here, if we telling men that they need to be the best versions of themselves, then the women need to understand what they qualify for. You don't get to have it all. You don't get to have exactly what you want in the man all the time. Neither do the men. Nobody's going to be perfect. That's the whole point. We have these expectations of people being perfect, of being exactly everything. We're basically saying if he cannot provide for you and the kids alone, then he ain't a real man. I mean, get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? Or she ain't, 120 pounds soaking wet. If she can't have 5 kids for you and still only weigh 135, she ain't a real woman. I mean, all of these YouTube talking points get tiring at some point. I'm trying to grow up, but I really be wanting to make people's mouths bleed. I really do, man. It gets really sickening at some point.
Sir Hell's Network don't support violence.
You cannot. And I agree, we should not support violence, but you know what? I also don't support long stroking with a brush, bro. I don't support that either. It's some stuff, men and women out here, they just not going to be able to achieve that. They should be understanding that the best version of them is going to come with some sort of dysfunction. It just always is. Nobody is going to be perfect. It's my man, Omar Smith. Shout out to Omar. This man is a Muslim man. He has 3 wives, and neither one of his wives is the same race. And he told me, he said, man, let me tell you something. I provide everything. They don't have to work. They choose to work. And even though I provide them with that kind of life, they still get sassy with me every now and then. And him telling me that was enough motivation for me to stop listening to cats that was trying to tell me, well, you know, if you have value and you this and then, your woman should never, ever, 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 ever have an attitude about nothing and blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's not reality, man.
That's not realistic.
People have emotions. People go through things. People change. You know what I'm saying? One minute they like shrimp. The next minute they don't. One minute she like flowers. You bring her flowers. Another time she can't stand it. She got allergies to them. It's like people change. Things happen. I get what Sir Hale is trying to say. The same way I get what Anton is trying to say. I get what they're trying to
say.
You're trying to say you want men to be married. I don't think every man should be married, but that don't mean that they shouldn't have relationships.
The deeper point that I'm saying is I want men to be men. And I think that's the lost art. A lot of men, we want women to perform like men with the submission of women. And I do think that there's
let's
an order.
address that really quickly. What do you mean perform like men?
Let me finish this point. I think that when men are walking in who they are, a woman there's something in her that's going to respect them. Now, if she doesn't, she's going to leave. She's going to find an exit. But men have power that I think we've forgotten. And I don't mean like we're going to be dominant, take control of somebody, but I mean, we wield influence. And I think that when we spend more time talking about the problem, instead of leading it and being clear and not being uncertain that, babe, this is how we're moving. This is how we're rolling. And I love you. And I know we're going to have issues, but I need you here. And I expect greatness out of us. When a man looks at a woman, he commands respect. And if that woman loves him, whether or not she learned that stuff, because we both came from the same mamas, she's going to do the work it takes, albeit slowly but surely, but that you'll win her respect and she'll be with you for a lifetime. And I want men to be men, because that's how we get and we protect our women. That's what I'm saying.
That I agree with. But when you say women moving as men, what specifically are you talking about?
First of all, men need to work. And I believe that if this means go get a second job, go get one. So if you don't have enough income, go get a second job. Let's say, let me take your real example about not having legs. Well, there's great computer jobs that you don't have to walk.
Absolutely.
Go get a certification.
Never have to mourn alone.
I'll tell you what I did. And let me be real with you guys. I had a wife, 4 kids. We lived in the projects, a 3-bedroom home with bed bugs and roaches. I was earning $42,000. I was frustrated. So what did I have to do? I lost sleep. There was 2 years where I averaged about 4 hours of sleep a night. I worked for 2 years to get 2 certifications, totaling $300. That boosted my income and put me into the 6 figures realm. I sacrificed 2 years of my life working multiple jobs to put myself in that position. That's not bragging. That's, I have a wife and 4 kids, and I have to do what it takes to take care of that wife and 4 kids. If it's just me, this is nothing. But once I have a wife and kids, it becomes my responsibility to step up and do what a man does. And that's what I'm saying men have to do. If you're by yourself, this doesn't apply. But if you got a woman and some kids, get off your ass. If this means you have to level up, and take care of your business, and you're going to win respect.
So that's the part that I have an issue with, because we are telling men, if you have to kill yourself to do it, do it.
No,
and that's what I'm saying.
Wait a minute.
I'm pretty sure I was super quiet. Everybody's shaking their head.
But check this out.
Let me get through it.
So Beans. So I want us to be a company. This is not me being disrespectful, but the reason I want to tackle that point, because me saying getting 2 jobs don't mean you have to work harder. You can work smarter. That's what I'm saying.
Smarter.
Go get a part-time job, right? Go do something on the weekends. You don't have to kill yourself. You just have to do better. That's what I'm saying. And I just want to address that point.
Okay. So in reality, most men do hard labor jobs. That's what we do. Physical, back-breaking, box lifting, warehouse type of jobs when you earn an average money. That's what they do. If they go get a second job, they're probably going to get a second job doing the same thing. They're going to be working overtime at that same job, killing themselves, getting 4 hours of sleep. That's not healthy. No doctor would tell you that it's healthy to only get 4 hours of sleep a day for 2 years.
But just so
when
you know,
have an able-bodied woman right there with you.
This ain't about her. This ain't about her.
I understand that, but it is about her, because she's the one who she also needs provision, and she also has a family to take care of. And what I'm saying is I'm only saying that there are some men out here and some women out here who cannot do what Sir Hale has done. That's my point. They can't, right? So if you try to, how many, okay, let me ask you this question since you're shaking your head, Charles. How many men do you think that are on this panel that has reached the level of net worth that you just said you had today?
Here's the
Don't duck the question, because I'm gonna just start talking if you're gonna.
There's no way to quantify that. You asked me a question. I want to answer.
I'm asking you your opinion. How many of them do you think?
I want to answer it the way I want to answer it. So here's the thing: the problem with disseminating that type of information is that it implies hopelessness.
It's not about hopelessness. I'm just asking you, do you think that most of the men on here have attained it? I'm just asking you if you think that most of the men that are on podcast has attained the net worth that you have.
You asked me a question. Can I answer it how I want to answer it?
You're not answering it.
Respectfully, we all let you talk when you want to talk.
You're not answering the question.
Hold on. I want to tell you, I want to let you know the perspective that I have. Here's the thing. When we spread hopelessness and we say there is no way, this is the only way, and there's hope, that there's no hope outside of this, what it does is it does not inform the guy who is listening, who is looking for another way, who is capable of doing something else. It doesn't empower him.
And what do you think you're doing to the people who aren't capable of achieving the things that you're saying?
Hold on, because
you're giving them hopelessness because they're saying, I'm never going to be there.
I'll tell you. Okay. Now, podcast, you hate being overtalked, don't you?
I do, but I also hate it when people don't answer my questions.
Why do you overtalk people?
Hey guys, hold on a second. Guys, hold on. This is what we do. Guys, hold on. This is what we do. Because we need to dig into this, ladies.
Right.
I want to thank you guys for being here. Hold on, guys. Thank you for being here. I want you guys to go. I want y'all to sing your feminine energy, and the guys and I, we're gonna sit here. We about to crush this out. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Ladies, we appreciate y'all. Chats over, ladies, some love. Please be here next Sunday. But the fellas, we getting ready to dig in tonight. All right.
All right, Red. Look. Shoo.
All right, sis.
Dang, we didn't get Shoo to say, ladies, never give up, never surrender.
So let's dig on this. And Men of Prestige, if you can stick around, and JT, y'all stick around, we need to dig into this.
No, and I know Brother Podcast and I have a great respect for each other for a fact. At least I have a respect for him, because when it comes to yielding the floor, we both a little ball hog. We both a little Kobe Bryant. But what I am saying is that when we're disseminating information, we gotta understand who are listening to us. And I'm speaking to that brother who does have potential and he's looking for another angle. But when we tell him that there are no other angles, then that might take the wind out of his sails. I'm saying this. I don't know how many of you brothers follow Myron Golden. Myron Golden? Anybody? Myron Golden wears a brace on his leg. He's never been able to run. He's never been able to compete athletically or anything. This brother is a marketing genius. He's attained a certain level of wealth. This brother making $1 million days. You understand what I'm saying? With his brain. And so when you impute that type of information into a person's psyche and it says this is possible, you may not be able to mow the grass, you may not be able to do certain things physically, but can you use your brain? Is what I'm saying. And so that's my whole platform, is that
there are some people who can't.
Hold on, brother. I'm gonna make this point now. You're the floor. At the end of the day, a man adds value however he can. You add value wherever you are, whether it's your home front, whether it's your workspace, whether it's your community. A man focuses on adding value. And then more times than not, the where he's adding value, those spaces will reward him accordingly. And so now, if you can't do anything physically, then how about using your mind? You can add value by using your mind. That's my whole point.
So let's let Podcast respond to this, and then I want the other guys as well. But Podcast, I think I understand what you're saying. Like the world we live in today, and I'll tell you what, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell me what you're saying, and then we'll debate from there.
In this world, there are men who have what's called companion dogs. You don't have to blow me up. Please don't. I'd rather be able to look at the fellas anyway. Thank you, sir.
I got you. I got you. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry, sir. I'm uncomfortable right now. In this world, there are men who have what's called companion dogs, bro. Like they need dogs in order to be able to move around because they deal with certain issues. There are a lot of men in this community walking around with those same type of issues, that same type of trauma and anxiety that they not dealing with. No, they haven't even been diagnosed with it. They don't even know what's bothering them. They don't even know why they make the same mistakes or choose the same type of women or any of this stuff. We're talking about men in their 20s. We're talking about men in their 30s. We're talking about men in their 40s. But you know what happens with a lot of those men? Women still screw them. And women still make babies with those men. We have a responsibility once we make those babies to give those babies the best opportunity that we can. The men should be focusing on their mental health as well as the women should be focusing on their mental health. But in that time, you cannot ask that man to work 16, 17, 18-hour days. You can't. He can't do it.
Hello.
Now, I know that goes against some whatever man code you have built inside, but that's just the truth. There are some people out here who aren't built to do everything. I last year for the first time worked more than 8 hours a day on a job. I never thought I would do that. But I started watching Kevin Samuels. I heard what he said, and it hit me a certain way. And I'm sitting here and I'm not doing anything else. I'm already at the job. I'm already giving them 8. Stay for 2 more. Boom. Then I did it. You know what? They said come in on the weekend. They're gonna give you an extra $500 bonus. Then I did it. But I was 43 years old. That's how long it took for me to get to the point where I was willing to work more than 8 hours a day. And so what I'm saying is there are some people out here who are dealing with things bigger than just having to go work. But those same people have women and kids. And it needs to be more of a team effort. So if the woman has to get a work from home position where she uses her cell phone or her house phone and sits at a computer so that she can stay in the house with the kids, then that's what she should do. Or if the kids are off to school and she can get a part-time job where she works on the second shift during the time where the kids are at school from 10 to 2 or 10 to 3, then that's what she should do. I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, that, oh no, men should depend on women. But I am saying we should be able to depend on each other. We live in a world where a woman can be a billionaire. They ask to be treated equally. They're asking for it, right? So if you want to work the same job as a man, you want to make the same amount of money as a man, you want to play capitalism, be able to participate in capitalism like a man, then you should have the same financial responsibilities as a man. If you get with a man that's a 6-figure millionaire, something like that, and he can pay all the bills, by all means, have at it. I'm not saying that you should never do it. But what I am saying is don't get with a man of lesser means. And then if he can't elevate himself to higher means, you want to tear him down and beat him down. No, work with that man. You all get together, you build, you both work and you build and you get some investments, you get some real estate, you put some things together so that you both can retire yourselves. That's all I'm saying. Build together.
So I don't disagree with what you're saying. So I don't want what I'm saying. Part of the reason, I'll tell you part of the reason why a lot of people don't talk about what they have. Because when you put a number to it, you can take the conversation wherever you want to. That's why people who have stuff, we don't talk about where we live, what money we're making, because it derails from the point. What I'm saying is men must be men. Forget what the woman doing. If she can work, let her do what she does. Men have to be men with or without women. And a lot of us, we won't step into what we have to do until we start getting help. And what I'm saying, we have to do the opposite of that. If we know if we're going to live by ourselves, we got to have an apartment or a home to live in. We have food to eat, insurance, so on and so forth. That's going to cost you with or without a woman. What I'm saying to men is take care of yourself without her. Because the truth is, if you got a woman who is working as much as you, let's say you guys are both working in the factory, it's going to be very hard for her to give you the feminine energy that you want to have. So we can't put the pressure on women giving us their best selves while they're performing like we are. That's what I'm saying. So you're right. If she can go get a home job, which keeps her in her element, by all means, sister, help your man out. But a man should not be relying if he's capable. Now, if you got a disability, this is different. But I'm talking about capable, well-bodied men. You shouldn't be relying on her What she does should be in addition. It should be a bonus, but it should not be the base. Men have to take care of that base. What do you guys think about that?
I'd like to jump in and say.
Well, he said he wanted to get the other two guys in. That's why I stayed quiet.
Yeah. No. Go ahead, Sir Charles. Go ahead.
Well, really quick.
And shout out to the real Nathan Dale. He's in the building. Much respect to you, brother. Thanks so much for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother.
Really quickly, a man that operates with an abundant mindset moves around the world differently than a man who operates in a lack mindset. And so I just wanted to be careful to preach about, when we talk about a man who lacks options, that goes deep into a man's psyche, and it affects how he moves around the world. I urge men to always think about abundance, to always picture yourself in abundance, always, because what you focus on will expand. And when we talk about lack of options, then you're operating in lack. And so we need to think about how can we, as opposed to how can't we. And that's my whole point. I never want to preach that to anyone who may be listening, that there are no options. Oh, you always have options. You always have options.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, depending on the circumstances, you might have to think outside the box. Is my point. That's all.
No, I just want to say for sure, I agree with you on that, but I'm saying there is a certain class of people, right, that I think require some special attention as well. There are some guys who, let me not even go back into it because I want to let the other brothers get in here. But I just want to say I agree with the point that you're saying, and there's other things like you said. It's things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to become, let's say, like a police officer that terrorizes communities and rides around all day and gives people trauma and flashes lights and arrests people and write tickets. You can do something that's actually of a benefit to the community versus just being somebody who is seen as a threat and in my eyes, a demon to the community.
Interesting. Just put that out there. Most police officers are good people and they do good work. So I want to put that part out there as well.
Right.
JT, you got a response for this?
We could debate that.
Sure. We got. I mean, the way I look at it is that, man, this world is based off of winners and theirs is based off of losers. That's basically what it is. And as men, we either a winner or we a damn loser. At the end of the day, our value comes from what we can put out here in this world, what we can produce. So if we out here and we being the bare minimum, we don't have any discipline. We got a lot of things that we have to do to build ourselves. And a lot of men, I can tell you honestly, they ain't doing to build themselves. They're looking more at the negativity about themselves, and then instead of what they need to do to build themselves to be a better version of what they are in tomorrow's world. You know what I'm saying? So, and when it comes down to with a woman, one of the things that I've realized in my observation and even my experiences is that pretty much a man, our love is based off of the condition that we provide, protect.
Facts.
It's our utility that we're loved off of, and that's the truth.
But it's true.
Men work. Yeah. But so what's funny about what podcast is saying is he's the epitome of work. Like the amount of shows he has going on, the amount of effort, he is the epitome of work. Listen, here's the thing. Even men who you are trying to speak for, and this is just real man talk, who you're speaking for, give special attention, will be offended by what you said. Because a man, regardless of his limitations, is going to try to find some way to defy them. No legs, no hands. That's why so much technology has been built. It's not because just people wanted something, they were overcoming a limitation. And I think this is what men have to get back to.
But let's make sure we don't mischaracterize what I was saying with that. What I'm saying was the guy with no legs can't be expected to mow the lawn. That's all I said. Not that he can't be expected.
And I've seen man with no legs do it.
Well, maybe I'm using a bad analogy, but I'm just saying, I'm thinking whether you got to push the lawnmower or whether you riding on it and you can't, adjust the pedals or whatever else. I'm just in my mind, I was just coming up with an example to say there are some things that cannot be shut up, sir.
You can put himself in a position to pay somebody to mow the lawn.
Okay, cool. But I'm just saying, and even if he ain't paying somebody to do it, you still can't expect him to do it. Was only my point. There are some things that you cannot expect from everybody. Everybody cannot get painted with the same brush. There are some women who cannot give birth to children. So do we devalue them and discard them? Are they not marriage material because they can't give birth? That's what I'm saying. We treat men like that. Anything it is that we say you're supposed to do as a man, if you can't do it, then all of a sudden you ain't a real man and you ain't worth nothing, and then we might as well just discard you. Well, I'm just saying, no, there's other things that a man can be good at, or other things that he can't bring value to the table, even if he don't have the legs to mow the lawn. He can still help the children with homework. Like you said, he can still use his mind and, maybe work from home on the computer. I mean, most of these cats I'm on YouTube with, they work from home and they making 6 figures from their computers. So yes, he still has the ability to do that. And that's what I'm saying. This ain't about him not working. All I'm saying is that the expectation, right, that as a man, you ain't a real man if your woman has to work. That's some bull crap.
I don't agree with that.
Proverbs 31, virtuous woman. That woman worked. And this was the virtuous woman. She worked.
It didn't say she had to be fair.
Say that again.
It didn't say she had to be fair, right? So this is what I'm saying. We're not even
why would she
dealing with
do
the
it if
women.
She didn't have to.
Because you're adding value. Right? You see what I'm saying? You're adding value. Like, case in point, your wife doesn't need to cook for you because you can cook, right? But when she does, it adds value and frees you up to do different things. So our wives add value. You see what I'm saying? And if you go back to the beginning of that chapter,
for a virtuous woman.
Say it again.
Shouldn't a man's expectation be for a virtuous woman?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, then. So then the expectation should be, if I need you to work, that's what you do, and it's not some sort of frown upon my manhood.
So we agree on that part. So there's no disagreement there. I'm just saying that a lot of men jump to that. You're supposed to help me before they've gotten their core together. And I want men to get that basic stuff.
We're in agreement on that.
Yes, I'm saying a lot of men want help and they're not doing anything that needs help. Sitting on your ass don't require help. So if expend yourself and to such a degree, you know what I mean? Where when she helps you, it's an honor because she sees you working in out. Now she's serving you from a place of honor because she see how hard you're going in for the family. And a woman who values you is going to respect that. Hey, Beans, thank you for taking care of it. Let me rub your feet. Let me make you a plate of food.
But
she's going to respect that.
But you accept the fact that that's not the majority of men, black or otherwise. Most men are working.
No, but are you hearing what I'm saying?
I do, but I'm just saying most men are working. So if I'm already working, I remember I did a poll one time on Facebook. And I said, how many of you work? You know how you get to do the options. I said 40 hours a week, up to 50 hours a week, up to 60 hours a week, or more than that, right? And I can't remember exactly what the number was, but the thing that stuck out of my head was the majority of people said they worked more than 50 hours a week. It blew my mind. These was all men, right? It blew my mind. I'm like, God damn, these people are really out here putting this time in, trying to get this overtime because they're trying to provide for their family. But then we sit around and we talk about the 40% more than we do about the 60% that's out here getting it. Because according to black demographics, 40% of black men and 40% of black women don't have an income at all. So you know what I'm saying? I get that there are people that have that type of situation. I have a work ethic, like you just pointed out. But at the same time, I did not have this same work ethic when it came for working for somebody else. I push as hard as I do because it's mine.
No,
so what I'm saying
with you, and I'll say this: we're always working for somebody. It just depends on the people in the middle of that. We're all entrepreneur right now. We're all working. So
that's a fact. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, we can't determine what we work by how many hours we want to work. What does your life in your
results you're creating, the value you're actually creating, right?
No, listen. What's your dream for life? What's your vision? Start there. And then you put the work in to get that vision. If you don't have a big one, then you don't have to do a lot of work to do. You got big vision, you got to have big work ethic to make it happen, because ain't nobody, if you hit 16 as a black man, ain't nobody giving you nothing. And that's if 16, it might be sooner than that. You got to get up there and go get it early. What do you want your life to look like? What do you want your wife to be? What do you want your household to look like? What do you want your income to be? Whatever that vision is, get up every single day. And if this means sacrificing for 5 years so that 35 of them are better, sacrifice the 5 years, because you very rarely hear people who died of hard work and were happy doing it who didn't live. It's typically people who are doing stuff, not aiming higher, who die of sadness and grief because they never stretched themselves to get to the life that they wanted to have.
You know what's ironic though? I was sitting here thinking about it. The three off the top of my head, quote unquote, high value men that I know, they all married, and all of their women are executives. You know what I'm saying? I got a cousin, his wife, executive in her company. My homeboy, he owns restaurants and real estate. Wife, executive, always flying around the country on business meetings. And then my other homeboy, real estate, but he's married to a doctor. You see what I'm saying? So they all have these career type women that are getting to the bag. I'm not saying that they providing for their husband, but they not with no women that's just sitting around not doing nothing, man.
See,
So let me.
No. I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm having a thought separate from everything else to just say it. I just was thinking in my head like, wow, these men that I know, the men that I know that are literally high value men, 6-figure or millionaire type cats that's getting to the bag for real, they have wives that's out here getting to it too. They don't have no sit around, stay at home type wives. They have wives that are out here with their name on doors. You know what I'm saying?
Let me just address the elephant that I see in the room. Is this is a dangerous world. That's a default. This world is not always going to be fair. That's a default. Especially as men, we need to understand that there's no guarantee. Now, with all of that being said, there's so much we can control, right? And as men that have, that we have this luxury of this time to hang out here right now, that's above certain types of average, depending on what circle you're talking about, right? To have this luxury on a Sunday night to do this is not ordinary. Some people have to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the railroad. There's a good chance they're not here right now, right? Nonetheless, I receive everything you're saying, little podcast. When we have certain exceptions or certain, maybe not exception with regards to number, but special situation you want us to address, as men, we can always bring that up, and then we can always make room for that, right? Without discounting the point that men has to be men. We don't have the luxury of dumbing that statement down. We just don't. There's no room for that. This world will drag you through the mud if you leave any kind of room, because it's already messy. You're never going to be perfect, right? And it's not fair, right? So, so those of us that are strong and we're able to comprehend at this level, let's keep encouraging that. We're recruiting more people into that mindset. And then, like you said, we can always, that means we have more to give those that may not be able to for circumstantial reasons, right?
Yeah.
But all of it is valid, but let's always remember at the back of our mind that it is a dangerous war. Thank God the ladies are not in the room, because I wouldn't be saying this to them necessarily, because they get away with a lot more stuff. We don't get away with this stuff. I don't care how much you try to compete with women. I keep saying competing women. You don't have that luxury. Don't do that to yourself.
Right. You know what else too, Sir Hill, you brought up? You brought up about the man and the woman like working together at the warehouses. I swear with my right hand to God, the last 6 warehouses that I worked at in the past 24 months, so many couples.
Yep, I've
seen
it.
Rarely black. It was mostly Mexican people though. But it was so many couples coming into those factories, into those warehouses, pulling up together, taking lunch together. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Like, and for me, that's inspiring to see these people that are willing to build together. We're gonna do this together. We gonna get out here. We gonna use our bodies to pull these resources together, right? And I did see this one black couple on my last job, and I told them, I just tell them all the time, like, man, I'm so proud of y'all. They both was young. I think she was 22, he was 23, and they was coming in there together. They building, they live together now. They not married, but they not having no kids right now. They building, they getting their investments and stuff and everything together, streams of income together, so that when they finally get to the point where they want to have kids, now she don't have to work. And it's not going to be such a pressure on him because they have all of these other streams of income and investments to rely on. I was like, man, that's what's up.
Podcast, I'm not listening to nothing you're saying. You are agreeing with everything I'm saying. You just going around the mulberry bush. Like, you know as well as I do, it's instinctual. Men do what it takes to make it.
That's
I say this, me and my wife used to work at the same job too. So all the stuff that you're saying, I know it. But life, you get the best out of your woman when she has the space to be a woman, right? This doesn't mean that she can't work. Like, we need our doctors, we need our attorneys, we need people, our social workers. But do you hear what I'm saying though? It's a difference when you're working because you're passionate about what you're working versus you're working to pay these bills. That's a different energy. And what I'm saying is I want men to take on the responsibility of being what we got to be so that we get the best out of our wives. Don't mean that they can't be empowered, but we want feminine women. We want them to be able to drop that thing like it's, you know what I'm saying? I need to have them toes right, have them nails right. Put your woman in position to give you what you want. Don't give them stress that's made for the shoulders of men. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know Logic, right? Logic said he knows men that are doing that, making less than $50K a year, even though he did concede that they were in the military.
Yep. So, and I said this in our show last Sunday. If we can get past materialism, we can get back there as well. It's just that in America, we don't work to live, we work to impress. And if we can get away from that, we'll be good.
But I've seen guys that made
wow.
200,000, right? But their expenses they live above.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
And I've seen them compared to the one that's making 40,000. The one that's making 40,000, guess what? His life is way better than the ones that's making 200,000. You know why? Because the one that's making 200,000 owe everybody. He going on trips. He's out here doing all the things on impressing people. The one that's making 40, he's budgeting. He's living below his means, and he still got the means to do a lot of things that he can do. So yeah, it definitely comes down to how we manage our life. Discipline is number one and is key. So if we got a woman that's working, in which most of us do, that she's working, but to Sir Hill's point is that we should at least get it to a point where we're doing most of the work and most of the stress. One of the things I've seen when it came down to women and men, if they're both out here trying to get the bag or they're both working long hours, at some point she's looking at him out the corner of her eye. Especially from what I was saying before, when that man is sitting back and he told her, I can manage this and I can pay the bills and all this, instead of just handing it over to her. She like, I can pay the bills better. He wants to take on all of these different roles instead of saying, okay, listen, baby, this is what you need to be doing. This is what I need to be doing. He still can be a leader, but being a leader is all about delegating also. So a lot of men, they get the wrong message when it comes down to being a leader. They don't know how to be direct. They're just trying to be, this man to be macho enough to sit back and say, well, I'm going to run it this way. And you got to learn leadership first. You got to know what being a follower is. And for men, the best thing for us to know leadership should be through our parents.
Yes, example.
Uncles. Even if we went through a job, it's life that's going to show us.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes it's our faults that's going to teach us the best.
Yeah.
When you're not being, and you're a man and you're not speaking up, somewhere in life, you're going to learn, I need to speak up. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Hopefully you don't die.
When you're not fighting for what's right, guess what? You keep letting people step over you and everything. Life going to show you until you stand up. One of the things that we learn as men is that, man, we got to just be a man. Flaws and all, we going to be a man, and that's where the respect is going to come from. Your wife can, it's going to be a whole bunch of things that your wife or your girlfriend is not going to like. They're going to be like, you're an asshole. But that's probably part of what they like about you too, because you're not agreeable. You're not an agreeable person.
Let me.
It's a dope thing.
Man, I love this conversation, boy. Sorry. Let me control myself, guys. So, podcast. Let me tell you something about you. I knew that you had made a move because you had mentioned it before, but you said your lady said something, and you made a move to fulfill a need. Didn't have to beg you for it. You heard a need. You solved the problem. That's the essence of what men do.
That's a man.
And that's all we're saying. If there is a problem in your life, you get up off your literal ass and you flew to go solve a need. That's what men do. And that's what we're encouraging, my brother. You see what I'm saying? So even though we have different vantage points that we're seeing this, I think we're all saying the same things.
No, here's the other thing that Little Podcast does, right? He's like that other guy that's watching Little Podcast and said, but you're not supposed to follow a woman. What if? You don't have the perspective. You don't know the full story. You have no idea what else is going on. So the only thing you can do is generalize, which means you are assuming, you're making a bunch of assumptions. Men should avoid making assumptions. It's terrible. We make an ass out of ourselves when we assume, right? At the end of the day, when a man is solving a problem, is going to fight a war, you may be looking from the sideways and you don't understand it. You don't understand it. He understands why he's making that move, right? So it's a lot of what ifs that you start with, but then you circle back to, okay, we're still making the same point, right?
Yeah.
We got a problem. We got to solve that problem.
The outcome, I believe, is I know it is. It's the same. I literally have said I'm trying right now. My plan that I have in place that I'm working on
Podcast is just going in the mulberry bush.
My lady. I don't want my lady to have to get up and go to work no more, but I don't want to either. You see what I'm saying? That's my whole thing is I don't want to either.
So you have your own goals.
Right,
you have your own. Right.
Everything in my plan is to make sure we don't have to go to work no more.
Get y'all roasts together. We about to roast podcast for going around this mulberry bush when he said the same thing we try to say.
I do want to make a point that I encourage men to go throughout life from a position of power, one way or another. Now, here's the thing: when you have your wife working or your girlfriend working, you say, "Hey, I need you." Please be clear. That needs to be a necessity from the standpoint of keeping the family afloat. When we have a lot of men out here who have their women out here working because they need to be kept afloat by what their woman does. And what I'm saying is now you're doing that to your own detriment. At the end of the day, every man needs to, at the very least, be able to take care of himself and walk through life in a position from abundance and a position of power, right? Because we all know that a woman will flake on you at any time because I feel like, and then Bob from marketing goddamn then got in her ear or whatever. At the end of the day,
shout out to Bob from marketing.
Yeah. Hey, at the end of the day, we need to understand that women can flake on you for whatever reason. So when you're asking a woman to help you with your own survival, you're doing that to your own detriment. There's not, I should say, I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong, but I understand if a man is asking a woman, hey, can you pick up the slack for the family to stay afloat? But you know the danger in having a woman being in a position to keep you afloat. She might mess around and abuse that.
No doubt.
Yeah. So that my message is men need to peruse life from a position of power, from a position of options, because even your own woman don't want you if you don't have options. Your own woman, the woman that you have currently, wouldn't want you if you didn't have options. No. She gonna look at you sideways. It's just better for a man when a man can put himself in a position when he has options, but he chooses. Right. But
this, I think what it really is, and if you could try to understand me on this, is that because I have been through so much, it's pretty much not too many things you can name I haven't been through. Right. Because of that, I'm just aware of what a lot of men have to deal with in the world.
You can relate.
Yeah. I know men who were in situations, and this is what I'm saying. So imagine we have women telling other women, girl, you should never have to provide for no man, right? But then I can say, well, I know a situation where the woman took care of all the bills for 2 years because the dude was building something. And then he got it built. Now she don't have to work. You see what I'm saying? But just like Sir Hale said, if you have to make that sacrifice as a man, guess what? Sometimes the sacrifice is going to be for the woman. It's just that way for some people. And I'm really stressing this about people who have gotten together already, and especially people who have made kids already. If we saying the best thing for these children is to be raised in a 2-parent household, then you all need to be doing what's best for you all. Not trying to follow somebody else's blueprint. If it means both of y'all have to work right now, that's what you do. If you saying, babe, look, I can go to school for 2 years and get this, and then I'm gonna be making this amount of money. You won't have to work no more. Then she cover the bills while you do that. If he says, babe, look, I know you're trying to do your thing on this. So I can't remember what it was. A lady retired her husband because she said, I think, and he had became like a police officer or something. Y'all remember that story?
Oh yeah, Tabitha Brown.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? He worked and let her do something for a while.
Yeah, Tabitha. Yeah.
Right. And then once she got to the bag, she was like, all right, you ain't got to do that no more. You see what I'm saying? People have to do what they have to do for them. I'm not telling nobody that's in situations, what not to do. I'm just saying I want people to be able to think individually for themselves and say, you know what, baby, I know we can try to get to that, but we need to make a plan that gets us to that. We can't necessarily just follow everybody else's plans. We have to sometimes come up with our own blueprint.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
And this is to the panel. I just want to ask, what is the end game to all of this?
To all of
not having to work.
I mean, I want to clarify, to all of what?
To this whole thing until we die. What is the end game?
I'll tell you the end game. Let me speak to that. Okay. Honestly,
hold on, guys. Let's breathe for a second. It took like a drastic turn real quick.
I know.
So what do we mean by the end game and life?
All right. So this is the thing. I work in a hospital, and I see a lot of seniors from the age of 70 to the age of 100. And what I see right now is when a couple comes in, guess who's taking care of who?
Yep.
The wife is taking care of the husband.
Yep.
Alzheimer's, losing a limb, whatever it is. For the most part, what I see is the wife willing in the husband. Very seldom do I see the husband willing in the wife.
Wow.
Cardiac issues, all of these different things. Even when he doesn't have Alzheimer's and he got his right mind, guess what he do? He gives all the paperwork to the wife. She reads it. She gets all of his medicine. She does all these different things. He only goes and sit down. She's talking about his durable power of attorney, making sure that it's up to date. She's making sure that he has his DD-214 for his burial. They talking about him not, he got cancer. So he already know he got a date already. He's talking to his wife and his kids about taking care of them, right? These guys are doing this. The investment that they made was they married these women for the long haul. They understand that we ain't living here forever. One of the things that I do understand is that, but you, my baby, you ain't ever got to worry about nothing. Social Security ain't gonna be able to do what I can do with you. I got a $600,000 policy for us, and he got a will. Plus, he got a living will. So that's what I mean by what is the end game to all of this? Because we can sit back and argue about all these different things, but my whole thing is that, are we really talking investment? When we talk about marriage, are we talking about investing in a marriage? Are we talking when we are talking to the young folks and when we were young? Did anybody tell us that, hey, pick your mate based off of the unborn children that you have? Nobody ever told you, wait, look at that woman right there. Would you want your unborn child to be the child of that mom? Is she if she a good wife, is she going to be a good mom? Because the chances of me getting her pregnant by having sex with her is way more higher than the chances of me marrying her. How about that?
Yeah.
Let me just respond real quickly before you go. I think that is the end game for all men, whether we know it or not. All right. So this is why so many men work. We put some stuff up for a rainy day. The advantages that we have today is that we've seen so many men fail at it or not reach it, and we get a chance to glean from what they didn't do, slap on the knowledge we have with the access to books, and we get a chance to do better. But I think regardless of age, just on a biological level, all men want that. Now we just have more means to do it, and now we are without excuse in our generation to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this, and I have to exit, fellas. Sorry. Here's the thing. Something I wanted to really speak to probably in the last hour is the value, right? Value. What is the value? Which is almost the same thing you're asking. What is the end game? Sometimes we're talking about short term, we're talking about mid term, we're talking about long term value of these conversations, right? And I think if you don't do a proper assessment and identify the value, I think we will always have problems with complaining, or not seeing where they're or spending too much time in the wrong zones, right? Or with the wrong people, right? If we don't identify what kind of value. So Sahil earlier spoke to something almost seemed like very trivial, like, you want her to drop it when you want to. That's a big deal, right? Because earlier
I was not
on,
joking. I meant it.
exactly, exactly, right? So that's more like a short term. Immediately, you want that to be happening on an ongoing basis, right? Then the long term is the other extreme end, which JT just pointed out, right? We're all gonna everything gets old, including ourselves. We're all gonna get old, right? And I think a lot of these conversations are missing, like exactly, like even though we're saying what we want, but we haven't really spelled it out as value. But anything that's valuable in life, that's worthwhile, there's always some form of exchange for it. If that means, if you want, for example, we said earlier, you want femininity, right? A submissive woman, right? It will come at some, like there's certain exchanges, like we say conditional, and we make that like some kind of criminal behavior or something like that. Conditional means there's some kind of exchange of some sort, right? For what you want. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's not always deliberate. It's not always happening at the conscious level. A lot of these things are happening at subconscious level. But as men, we need to identify what we can control, how we move, how that controls what a woman does at the subconscious level, but with respect to what are you looking to get, short term to long term. And I'll leave it at that.
Before you go, I want to say this, guys. There's nothing wrong with complaining. I'm gonna deal with this on a different show, but there's nothing wrong with complaints. And I think what we've done is you hear complaint and you assume that the complaints are unwarranted. But any successful company has a department that deals with complaints, and businesses work to make sure that they mitigate those things. In other words, I want to make sure that the customer service is so great, this product is so great. I want to. If I think you're gonna complain, I'm a make sure my product is so well that you don't even. I want you to give me some feedback. Men complain when there's an issue, and I think that we have to stop underestimating that. Complaints simply mean that there is something wrong, and I care enough about what's going on to bring voice to it so that we can fix it. So complaining is a good thing. The issue is if it's all complaints, right? And when I say all complaints, I mean that when I'm telling you this, she's not doing anything to help correct that. It becomes a problem then. But complaints are to be respected. They're not to be ignored.
Also,
yeah, I think.
sorry.
Sorry. Just a quick pushback. I think if we're in this room like we are right now, right? You could say the same things, the same exact words, and it suddenly changes meaning, right? Depending on where we're discussing this or what the goals of the discussions are, right? Context, right? So if you say if you come to us like women, we're talking and I say my woman is not doing this, she's doing that. That automatically changes my context of calling the complaint to you're discussing with gentlemen, you want to seek their advice when you're trying to get to a solution. Rather than the need to be right, I can't wait to recruit everyone into feeling the same way I feel right now. As a matter of fact, I'm getting a kick out of this, and I want this conversation to go and it's very subconscious. It's not something people deliberately do. They actually engage and enjoy that conversation in that state. And when you provide any sense of solution, actually they don't want to hear it, right? So that's the complaint I meant in that context. But I agree with you.
Let me push back on that.
No, wait. You don't have to push back because again, I actually agree with you.
No, I want to because I just want to bring a point to what you're saying. So a lot of men who do that, who we think are pushing back, a lot of times when we're providing solutions, we're dismissive of what they're saying. And I see this happen all the time. So
that's true.
So let's say I bring up, and let's say my wife is going crazy, whatever, right? And I've been trying to say this for 10 years, right? And I'm trying to explain what's going on because you've heard this. You think that you know what I mean by when I say my wife is going crazy. And so you jump into solution before you give me time to articulate. And I think part of the solution is being heard. So once I know that I'm heard and I'm clear, I got this out, then this is why therapists get paid. They're not trained talkers, they're trained listeners. And that's why we pay them, because they're able to let us get it out and then offer perspective. So that's what I'm saying. There are some men who do this, but I think we have to respect complaints and let men get it out and then offer a solution. Don't just go into solution mode once it sounds like it's a complaint.
Right. So to acknowledge what you're saying, right? We do that with our women too, right? Because we're problem solver, and sometimes they need to go through that process, right?
It's a fact.
Right. So I agree 100% with you. Anybody who understands this at a deeper level, understand you should acknowledge when somebody is saying, quote unquote, complain, they're saying there's a problem, right? You should acknowledge how they feel, validate how they feel, because that's their experience before you try to offer anything. And then walk with them, because you may be able to see farther ahead of them, but walk with them to see that, because they may not be able to go that fast, right? So I 100% concede to that, particularly what I was saying is in that context, complaining is maybe there's a better word we can use, because that comes as shaming people who are just saying there's a problem, right? Maybe I'll concede to that. Maybe there's a better word we can use, so it doesn't seem like we're shaming people that are actually pointing out a problem, right? But I concede to that, bro.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, we as men, we get a chance to change this, right? We get a chance to change this. Hey, if you got a complaint, tell me about this. I want to fix it. Ladies who are watching this, if your man has a complaint, tell him I want to hear your complaint and let me know how I can fix this, and see if that complaint doesn't turn into strategy and appreciation.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Right.
Yeah, so it really is about communication, man. I spent the last couple of shows really trying to illustrate, you know what I'm saying, how bad the communication is between men and women, Black people in general, really, and then especially like when we on these panels, and the fact that people want to push talking points, and they're not really having the actual conversation. They're not really listening to what you're saying. They're just ready to respond with the thing that's their talking point. And it definitely creates a bad dialogue. And I think it also applies to relationships when you're not communicating genuinely, like Sir Hill just said. I'm complaining to you. Don't hit me with whataboutisms, right? Don't bring up something from 3 months ago. Just listen to what I'm saying, and then you can ask me what can I do about it. But also, I say this a lot. I don't know if everybody would agree with this, but I believe the solutions are in the complaint, right? My mom used to complain when I was a kid, stop leaving the light on in the bathroom. Does she have to tell me to turn the light off? I know what the complaint is. I know the solution.
You know how cold that statement was? The solution is in the complaint?
That's a fact. I say that all the time. I don't know.
Excellent.
The solution is in the complaint. When somebody tells you what's wrong, the opposite is the answer. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, I don't like how you talk to me. You know how you're talking to him. Don't talk to him that way. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're not spending enough time with the kids. The solution, spend more time with the kids. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? I just think people choose to be difficult when it comes to communication. And it really just takes more listening intently to solve the problem.
So I think our power is in acknowledging other people's complaining more so than asking other people to acknowledge our complaints. The same thing we're saying right now, we'll practice on the flip side. I think that's where majority of our power is. Like, let's practice that on the flip side of it.
I get that. That's big. Yeah, I get that.
To that point, though, when people recruit people, they just want to know that they ain't crazy. Because a lot of times when men complain about their women, the woman say, "You the only one complaining. You always the only one who do this."
Right.
And we trying to. Am I the only one? So we're trying to make sense of it. Now,
Well,
as you get
but
older,
you know why that
and you know
is,
the
though,
game,
right?
it changes. Go ahead.
You know why that is, though, right?
Mhm.
That's like I can speak to my situation. I've been in 4 relationships, real relationships, long term in my life. 3 of those women did not have anybody, mama, daddy, auntie, sister, cousin, coworker, nobody ever telling them they were wrong about anything, especially not in their relationship with me. I was the only person telling them they was wrong about anything. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore I just became the antagonist of their story. You see what I'm saying? Versus the person who was actually trying to offer correction in the behavior to fix our relationship.
Yeah.
Women need that. They need somebody, especially other women, to tell them when they're wrong, especially in the relationships.
Well, we have a solution now. Soft girl era.
Come on, soft girls.
Embrace it. It's here. Don't run from the solution. It's here to stay.
Hey, y'all, this has been an incredible show. Like, guys, we came on here, all of our backgrounds, our intelligence, we brought it together, and we extrapolated some great points.
That's a fact.
Guys, I appreciate the real talk. This is how me and conversations go, and I really appreciate it. So let's give everybody final words, and we're going to wrap it up. Hey, chap, now listen. Normally when I say final words, the numbers start dropping. Stay on until we're done, guys. I really appreciate all of you. Stay on. Matter of fact, share this. Even though we're about to end, share it.
Word.
Let's start with our Man of Prestige, man. Thanks so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. And ladies, if you guys benefited from you hearing me and talk about this, let us know. We are trying to give you insight into what men think and how we see things, so that we can love on each other better. Don't listen to all these dudes on here talking about they don't need women. Most men want to love a woman. Some of us just are just upset and angry at the moment. Give us a little time though, and we got to work on repairing relationships. So, Man of Prestige, our final words for you, my brother. It's on you. Thanks again so much for being here, brother.
Thank you, sir. So for the past 1 to 2 years, I've learned a lot about being patient with our brothers, understanding more of where they're coming from, and I'm grateful that I've been able to stay patient to hear them out as well. Being a man who has been married for 15 years, I'm a little disconnected, a little bit more disconnected from the dating scene than a lot of brothers. So I'm paying attention and I'm learning as well, so that I can have my own insights and wisdom from all these experiences. In the last 1 week or so, we've done some damages to the algorithms. So we just went past 1,002, getting monetized as we speak. So that's a good thing. The conversation, I just want us to keep having the conversation. I think our power lies in listening to whatever that other side is for you, whatever you're battling, right? I don't know if it's a war, whatever you want to call it, right? Listening, active listening, precisely, not listening like a doormat, because that's not going to benefit you, but listening so you can gain some insights to use as a tool to create solutions so you can achieve the results you're looking for, particularly the result, the outcome you're looking for. With that being said, Man of Prestige, you can search anywhere. Comes right up. Thank you so much.
Man of Prestige, a gentleman, scholar, much appreciated, man. We do great work together, and I value and I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, fellas. See you soon.
JT, man, this is your first time being on the show, man. What's your thought on it, man? Like you got that wisdom, and I could be wrong, but you said on another panel, you said you're 40.
No, I'm in a couple of weeks I'll be 50 years old, bro. Yeah.
Much respect, brother. Much respect.
Yeah.
So what's your final thoughts on today's show, and what do you want to leave with the people tonight?
Oh man, this show was just awesome, man. I love having the panel that we have. Everybody had different perspectives. We come from it from all different angles, but we all actually have a through line. And one of the things I respect about your show, man, is that it's ever since I've been following you, I've seen weekly, daily, really the growth in it, and it makes me want to, it makes me step my game up on my channels, man. And the conversations, and trust me, these conversations, we're gonna keep having them. I'm glad that you guys, even from like with little podcast, when I look at his, he gives me another insight on how I want to further the conversation from when he talks and when you talk, and Black Man Unfiltered, all you guys, man. I'm glad that I've found this circle of brothers out here, man. You guys are bringing a lot out of me. I've been looking for this for a very long time, and I finally found this type of circle, man. And I'm willing to step my game up, bro. I mean, I ain't doing bad, but you brothers is making me step my game up for real, man. So I appreciate you, man. And my final thoughts, man. We just talked so much, bro. I think I put it all out on the show, put it all out on the table. So I'm done. I have nothing else.
And look, man, I really enjoyed you guys. I would love to have you back, JT. Real talk.
Absolutely.
If you're open to it, I'll send the details. But I love stuff like, man, this, when you can have like intelligent conversation and go different ways, man, look, that's my stuff right there.
Yeah, brother.
Little podcast. Man, one of the things that I told you I respect about you is when I first saw you, I'm like, oh, this dude, he rapping, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop, you know what I'm talking about? And then when I heard you talking, I'm like, wait a second, this dude is actually hearing stuff like deeper levels in the conversation. And the way that you were able to articulate that and your ability to hear stuff, I highly respect that intelligence, man. So thanks again for your time. I don't take it lightly when you're here. As content creators, we could be doing our own things, building our own channels, doing our own things. But when you take the time to contribute, I tell you, I really do value that. And I want to say thank you for that, man. Thank you so much. So final thoughts tonight, and then what do you want to leave with the people?
Man, it was a dope conversation. I appreciate the kind words. It was a dope conversation, as usual. I mean, I always have Super Sundays on my calendar. Honestly, just thank you for having me. Thanks to all the people that was on the panel. And one of the things I really like the most about being over here is that we can debate. I can be demonstrative because I am demonstrative, and you don't see it as a weakness or use it to whip me with, right? But I do want to take right now this particular second to thank all the people that's been supporting my channel. I mean, the growth has been amazing. My boy Aaron O told me that I deserve to celebrate it, and I deserve to celebrate myself. He always said, you always giving everybody else credit and this and that, but you had to be here, you had to put the work in. So, for this week, I've decided to celebrate me and thank myself for putting the work in. And we've gotten to a couple of thresholds that we were trying to get to, and now it's just about delivering better content. If you haven't subscribed to me, the channel is I Seen Your Little Podcast. It's really one word. It's Lil, like Lil Wayne. It's I Seen Your Little Podcast. And this week I'm having guest hosts all week long because I have some things I have to take care of to make sure that I'm doing my part in this building that I'm doing for my lady and I and our family. And so tomorrow we're gonna have Tommy B hosting. Tuesday we got Freezy hosting. Wednesday we have Lexi and Lucky hosting together, and Thursday we have Raw B hosting. So this should be a good week. I put the channel in some great content creators' hands, and I just want people to keep rocking with us. Keep rocking with Sir Hale, Black Man, what we know, all of us, man. Like Black content creators, we are really trying to provide you all not with just entertainment, but with something, healthy. It's not easy. It's so not easy to not just keep regurgitating the same thing. So I got so much love for everybody, man. I just really appreciate everybody. Right now, I'm just in a very gratitudinal mindset. Even the people I don't like that much, who motivate me to keep doing what I'm doing and keep building, with their condescending tones and their very demonic jobs in this world. But I just want to say, even to those people, thank you and salute to you again, Sir Hill.
Much as I appreciate you, man. Now, y'all know I saved my guy, Sir Charles. As far as I'm concerned, Super Sundays is as much his as it is mine. When I first started the show, him and I talked, and he said, "Hey, Sir, here, look, man, look, he the coolest dude." He's like, "Look, I love what we're doing. I love this show. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna treat it like a job." And I promise you, he's done that. And people often say, "You don't have to tell me thank you," but I think it's important. You let people know how much you appreciate them, because you never know when it's going to be your last time. And so, Sir Charles, I said every week, I truly appreciate. Thank you. Look, you could have left, you could have all kind of things have happened, but you stuck here, and it's encouraging. Content creator, tell me if I'm lying. It's encouraging when you got people who show up for you.
That's a fact.
There'll be some days you like, I ain't got it in me, and you have a person. Shout out to Lady Navoa, calling you, telling you, "Hey, look, I got you. We got work to do. Hey, you got a thumbnail up there. The show ain't happening. Hey, what we doing? Come on, let's get it up. That show was terrible. Right? You got people who rocking with you. It makes you want to get better, and I appreciate you, Sir Charles. So, our final thoughts. Please call out your channel, and what do you want to leave with the people tonight?
Well, first and foremost, man, you know what? The feeling is mutual. The love is mutual. I appreciate you having me on your platform, and I don't take it lightly that you allow me to grace your YouTube stage. I was at my home, my closest guy. I was at his birthday party today, and it's amazing how people know what you own, because he's like, "Hey, you gotta go." Yeah, I gotta go. And they were still turned up. I had to get up out of here so I could jump on the show. I really appreciate the other panelists' perspective. I love talking. I love debating. I love taking jabs. And at the end of the day, it allows me to hone my communication skills, and to be able to interact with other people is amazing. I am one half of Mindfully Misunderstood, where I host my YouTube channel with my brother Cameron. I also started my own channel, Sir Charles the God, on YouTube, very new, and I am dropping content on that as well. So, but at the end of the day, as I always say, that I want my platform is always geared towards men. That men need to understand that you are the generators, operators, and destroyers of your own reality. And that being said, if you're outside your objective reality is not responding the way it should be, then perhaps you need to check your what you are feeding your subconscious mind. That 90% of my books talks about how you can change your own reality by what you simply feed your mind constantly. And so that being said, I want to encourage men to operate in a position of power as opposed to in a position of powerlessness. And this is in every area of life, whether it's health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. You are in control. And we are not to point the finger at anybody else but ourselves, because we can control one way or another the results that we get out of life. And that's my piece. Love y'all. Thank y'all for having me once again this evening. Peace and blessings.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fantastic show. This has been one for the books. You guys have shown up, shown support. You've been rocking with us for this is going on 3 hours, 4 hours. Guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Like, you guys don't have to make the time to support us, to not only hear the conversation, but to contribute. Thank you guys so much. Everybody, I want to give you a hand clap. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. But there's a couple things that I want to say. I want those of you who say you support content creators, I want you guys to remember that content creators are human. We don't see everything. We don't know everything. We make mistakes. We get it wrong. But we come back every week, or some of us every day, because we are driven to provide value. There's a lot of people, when something happens, we speak against platforms, or we start rocking with people. There's a lot of chatter and back chats. We got to grow up as a community. And unless we've talked to people and had a face-to-face conversation, give people a measure of grace. Let them be human and let them develop, because who a person is in these 4, 5, 6 months, if they're putting in work, they're going to grow from that. And I think a lot of you are missing out on being able to say you supported great people because you've heard something about them or you just decided not to like them based off of what somebody said. We got to grow from this. Support great content creators. If you have a gripe with them, go to them and give them the opportunity to get it right. Because a lot of times you guys are mad about people for stuff you haven't talked to them about. We're on here trying to provide value. And I hope that you guys see that and respect that and rock with us because we really do value you. Thank you guys so much for another episode, for tuning in to Sir Hill Speaks Super Sunday. Until next time, Sir Hill Speaks is out the building. We appreciate y'all. We'll talk with you guys again soon. Peace. May I have your attention? May I please have your attention? Super Sundays. Yeah, baby. We're back at it again. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. I'm glad that you're here. I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. We've been doing these shows for months now, and you guys have been showing up consistently as we take on and we tackle different challenges and different topics. So I appreciate it. But here's what we're trying to do going forward. We want to grow this audience to people who need to hear content like this. And so we need your help. How can you help us? That's a fantastic question. Be sure to make sure you hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell for all of the content that we have, particularly Super Sundays. All right, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure you invite somebody to Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. We're getting ready to go in. We're going to have a good time. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get to the show.